What is up, boxing fans around the world? FightHype family back at it again. Back home from a long week in California. Started the week... Why did I start the week in San Diego? I'm trying to remember. But anyways, I finished the week Thursday in Los Angeles for Ryan Garcia and Tank's press conference. Oh, no, that's right. I was leaving San Diego because I stayed an extra day in California after watching Brandon Figueroa beat Mark Magsayo ringside in Ontario, California. Then I had to, hang out in Cali a little bit more, go to the Ryan Garcia Tank presser, which was a lot of fun. Excuse me. Let me play a little intro music for the pregame of Tim Tszyu and Tony Harrison fighting for the interim WBO world title at super welterweight, 154 pounds tonight, live from Australia, the home country, of course, of undefeated number one contender in the division, Tim Tszyu, taking on former champion, WBC champion, one of the only man actually to beat Jermell Charlo, Mr. Tony Harrison, who braved the trek overseas for this fight. But yeah, your boy is back in the office, back here in cozy Las Vegas, back in my office to call the fight tonight with all you lovely people. And let me play a little pregame show music to get us going. That's right, tonight it's a pair. It's a crossroads fight, a veteran looking to make a trilogy with the undisputed champion in the division. Tony Harrison wants his date with destiny, wants a third fight with Jermell Charlo, but Tim Tszyu, the son of the former great super lightweight champion Qudos, who stands in his way. He was slated to face Jermell Charlo for the undisputed title, but instead now he will be fighting for one of the four titles, the interim WBO title, tonight against Tony Harrison. And shout out to anyone in the chat who knows where I got that from. But I couldn't help myself to play a little music to go with it. Never Let Fear Stop You says you are the best commentator on YouTube. I appreciate that, Never Let Fear. Obviously nothing to commentate just yet. Main event time is in about 29 minutes, 7:45 West Coast time, 10:45 East Coast time. So we'll have a little pregame show maybe. Let's do that. My man Nick Noonan down in Australia got us plenty of video down there in Australia for FightHype. And we'll pregame this a little bit. And before anyone asks who I got tonight, I love the energy that Tony Harrison has come overseas with. I love him, coming and challenging Tszyu. I love Tszyu taking the fight in the interim and not sitting on his title shot, taking a risk here against Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison, I think, has the IQ and the experience and the skills to win this fight, but data matters, and the data on Tony Harrison is that while he's very fast, extremely long, very smart fighter, even for a tall 6'1", 154 pounder, has a good left hook to the body, can hold his own at times on the inside, but against Willie Nelson, Jarrett Hurd, in the second Charlo fight, he does get stopped late in fights, and I do think that'll be the case again with Tim Tszyu. Now, if Tony proves me wrong, that'd be a beautiful thing for the American going overseas, after a 3 stoppage loss, and then we wind up getting a trilogy with Jermell Charlo, which would, not only be a fun fight, but an amazing build-up to that fight. The second fight, Tony Harrison launched one of the all-time, Ali, James Toney-esque verbal assaults at Jermell Charlo and fought beautifully in that second fight in the middle rounds before eventually getting knocked out late. So I think he'll fight beautifully in this fight, but I do think, like his other 3 losses, I expect Tim Tszyu with his intelligent pressure, heavy hands, underrated explosiveness. He's not as slow as Tony Harrison is going to think. He like his dad Costa, like Triple G, like Julio Cesar Chavez, and it has some of the traits. Well, I mean, I meant, I don't mean to be blasphemous by putting him there with all-time greats, but what I mean is he knows how to cut the ring off. He's an intelligent pressure fighter. So I do think that intelligent pressure will pay off in the second half of this fight, but we will see. If Tony proves it wrong, we call these fights right down the middle. So if fellow American Tony Harrison goes over there and pulls off the upset, that'd be tremendous credit to him. But I do got to favor Tszyu tonight, fighting at home. AJ in the chat, what's up, AJ, saying, let's go, Tony. Angelina says, I got Tim. What's up, Thunderlips, brother? Good to see you. So yeah, we got over 200 people already in the chat. All right, let's take a look at some. Here, give me a moment here, and let's go over some. Let's go over some vids that we got throughout the week with our coverage here on FightHype. Oh, here Tony Harrison arrives like Alicia with Alicia Baumgartner like a boss. So why not? Let's see how the former WBC champ is coming in tonight. Sean Shady, what's up, King David is alive. Tony in 6 says Pulse XDX. 1 SSS says you are wrong, Sean. Tony is going to outclass him. Tim is very inexperienced. Well, let me finish that comment. Tim is very inexperienced. I hope you're right because I don't know boxing like you, but Tony is going to win. So yeah, I think Tim is a good fighter, man. He's got a powerful right uppercut up top, and when Tony is slick against the ropes and Tim pins him against the ropes, Tim has an accurate thudding left hook to the body for when Tony's being slick up top. So we'll see, man. Someone said, Sean, do you bet at all? See, George, I don't bet. I feel like I'll jinx my hot streaks and picking fights right if I actually bet on it. Plus, I'm a reporter, so I'm not supposed to pick a side there and bet. Red says, what's up, Sean? What's up, Red? Lloyd Bradley says, American boxing. Tim ain't ready. Manuel Rodriguez says, love what you're doing. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Manuel. Appreciate that, brother. It's Jay says, I keep saying Tony for the win. DJ K9 says, I got Tony, baby. We got a lot of our American guy getting some love in the chat tonight. That's good to see. Dorite Harper says Tony's gonna box circles around Tim. He's very slow. I don't think Tim is as slow as Tony thinks, and I think that's gonna be a factor in this fight. Team Batman Boxing, what's up, brother? Says I think Tim definitely gets the win and will stop Harrison. What time is the start? Xander Gomez, we're starting in about 24 minutes. That's the start time here in the U.S. Man, over 360 people in the chat. Great to see, great to see. We're just we're looking at Tony Harrison here arrive here. It's fight night here in America, but I guess fight afternoon over there in Australia. C. George says, Sean, thanks for always reading your comments. I liked your videos. Others should too. Yeah, please like, if you guys got a chance, click the like button. And I try to read the chat as much as possible. The times that I don't is when I'm trying to make a point that I've written in my notes before about a fight we're coming on. Oh, there's Alicia Baumgartner, the undisputed super featherweight champion. But yeah, only time I don't get to a comment is because I was busy, fleshing out and finishing a point about a fight we're covering. What channel is it on? It should be Showtime. Mr. Just, Showtime or ESPN? Showtime. Team Batman Boxing, thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. There's Tony Harrison with the Detroit hat. And those classic Detroit shades. Eminem used to wear them in the early 2000s. Royce the 5'9". Love Royce the 5'9" as far as D-Town MCs go. Yep, there's Tony, Detroit Tigers hat on. Shout out to my man Nick Noonan down there in Australia. Yeah, we got about 500 people in the chat now. That's awesome. Toe says, from Australia, Tim will shock you all with the body punch, and he has a great left hook to the body, a great right uppercut up top to the head. Tony Harrison, faster. At this point, you gotta expect more, higher IQ fighter with his experience and pedigree from the Detroit gyms, including, spending time in the Kronk when Emmanuel Stewart was still with us. Sparring all the best fighters like Brian Golovkin, clip that was going around recently when he was 22 years old. So I wonder what he's listening to. I wonder if Tony's listening to a little Voice 259. I highly doubt it, but if you guys want to listen to it, if you're a Tony Harrison fan and you want to listen to a hype Detroit track, maybe put on Regardless from Royce the 5'9". That's a Tony Harrison song for me. Something from Royce the 5'9". Yep. Tony coming in, clearly locked in with his headphones. Got a super featherweight champ, his fighter, Alicia Baumgartner. Maybe his girlfriend, maybe his bang bang. Not sure. It's their business.
Yep, thank you guys.
He's listening to Trick. I don't know who that is. See, anything past 2006. I think like the last out. I'm a bit of a hater with where music's gone. think the last album I liked, period, was like Fish Scale by Ghostface or Little Brother. Something from Little Brother. Let's see what else we got. And now we're at over 500 people in the chat. That is awesome. And once again, this is basically the pregame show for Tim Tszyu, Tony Harrison. And let's see how Tim Tszyu arrived.
Get fast relief of your worst allergy symptoms, including nasal congestion.
Real Talk Live Sports says Tony the Tiger, be great.
Feel the clarity and make the day.
Malcolm Emmanuel, good to see you, brother, says my dog's Zatel. Good to see you, Malcolm Emmanuel. Sophia Angel, you are welcome
customers
very
online,
much.
in-store,
Sophia says thank you for the PayPal, getting some free ad space on FightHype. You think Garcia has a chance against Tank? If so, what percentage? Asked Luis Gonzalez. Luis Gonzalez, I hope you're not the Luis Gonzalez that hit the game-winning RBI in 0-1 against the Yankees with the Diamondbacks. But anyways, I give Garcia a 25-30% chance, which is very, very high chance. You know, that, I mean, I got Tank as the favorite, but 25 to 30% is a sizable chunk of the pie, you know. So I give him a solid chance. Definitely could walk Tank into that left hook, but I am picking Gervonta to win that fight. V. Chuan says, hey, white boy from FightHype, what's up with the Harrison earphones? I don't know. I'm not sure. I think they're just AirPods, I believe. I'm not sure. I believe it's just Apple AirPods, to answer your question, is what's up with them. Evander Holyfields says, what up, bro, in the cam? I don't know your name yet. Name is Sean, Evander Holyfields. Javier G says, great interviews this week. Love your lives. Go Harrison. Yeah, man, we got a lot of great interviews still to drop from that Ryan and Tank presser, and some stuff with Caleb Plant, Breadman Edwards. Tuesday, I'll be going to Seattle to go see David Benavidez for his media day, too. So, what up, Matty boy? I got Zook, Matty boy, but Tony coming over. I love the energy Tony's coming over with. I love Tony's hand speed and experience and smarts. But I just don't know if Tony's going to hold up in the second half of the fight. That is the data out on him in his 3 losses. And I like Tim Tszyu. I like his intelligent pressure. I like his left hook to the body. I like his right uppercut up top. I like his punching power. I think he's an explosive guy. He inherited some of that from his father. He's not just a slow, plodding guy. Tony Harrison has faster hands, but Tim isn't as slow as Tony thinks. And I do think that'll catch Tony by surprise. I expect Tim to get pieced up. Here is Tim here. He's got his big bank, looks like, to his left.
Yeah, that was a good left.
What is that, a soccer jersey, guys? I'm not a soccer fan. Easy rocking. Now we got over 650 people here in the chat. That is what's up. Aussie life, absolutely.
Here we go.
Burien, not Seattle, Tavares Morales. So I'm going to Burien after that's where David trains at.
Tim, welcome.
Seattle
Talk
area.
us through this moment. What are your final thoughts as you head into this championship fight?
Oh man, it's
he does a great job. Ooh, Ant McQueen.
Everything.
Ant McQueen comes with some very good stuff in the chat. Good to see you, Ant McQueen. Ant McQueen talking about Tim Tszyu says he does a great job peeling the guard as well, Sean. And I know what that's right. He'll paw with that right hand, peel your glove, bang, come with the left hook. Peel with a bang, shoot the uppercut. He's really good at that with the right hand. And you'll see Tim Tszyu probably do that a lot in this fight when he gets Tony on the ropes. He'll kind of use his right hand as a parry and set up that left hook to the body, kind of extend it just a little bit, and he could get countered doing that against a Charlo or a Harrison in this fight. But very, very true, Ant McQueen. He does that, and guys like Golovkin would do that, Chavez would do that. Guys that are very good at cutting the ring off and pinning you on the ropes will extend that right hand a little bit to catch what's coming back, to pin you there, and then boom, let go of that left hook to the body, and or just touch over the top with a shot. All kinds of things that Tim Tszyu, his intelligent pressure will be put to the test. Let's see what he said here.
Let's go to this one. So,
now over 700 people in the place.
victory
This is beautiful.
Second now.
What did you make of your brother's performance just now?
went for a cup, right? I've been in the car. I haven't watched it.
You'd be very proud. You did very, very well. Now, you've never lost before. Tony Harrison has. You say you want to defeat history. How are you going to get sure?
I've lost him, he has, so that's what I intend to do. Give him another one.
Obviously, the audio is pretty low, but man, Tim is a star there. I mean, this man has his tuxedo on. This man has his tux on like it's a big pay-per-view fight here in America. Tim Tszyu a star over there. He's got his.
You had a lot at the showdowns yesterday. Is it fair to say that you're sick and tired of this fight?
So I just want to get in there and fight, man. I've put a lot of work.
BBW Lover says Tony is too slick for all of that. I think he will be too slick for it for 4 to 6 rounds. But, when and Tony's in his 30s, when those legs aren't going to be able to just travel around the ring, I think, for all 12, at some point he will get pinned on the ropes and have to exchange with Tim Tszyu. And that's where Tim's youth and, that hook to the body can start to slow Tony Harrison down. But we'll see. You might be right. He might be too smart and too quick and too experienced for all of that. Mid-Sin Boxing says, how long do we have until the main? Looks like about another 15 minutes until the telecast starts.
To this, all that's left to do is fight. Doesn't matter who's in front of me right now. Let's go to it.
Thanks for your time, Tim. All the best.
Thank you.
Timmy, good luck, man.
Thanks, man.
V. Chuan says, hey, who do you got on Benavidez? Going to do a Tank Benavidez parlay. I got Benavidez and Tank in both of those fights. And I got Inoue over Fulton. Skills pay the bills, but I'm going with the punchers in all 3 of those fights because they're all not just punchers, but explosive, fast punchers. Tank, Benavidez, and Inoue. So I got the. If you're looking to parlay off my picks, there it is. Just don't get mad at me if you lose money.
Good luck, Tim.
All right. Both guys have made their way in. Look like they mean business. And we have a fight in about 15 to 20 minutes. Let's see what else we had here. We'll take a look back at this weigh-in. What video game are they advertising?
I'm afraid our
More Grand Theft Auto 5?
up yet.
Jesus. This game has been being made for 10 years now. And you make a new fucking game.
Main event fighters as they take to the scales. Please put your hands together for legendary Hall of Fame ring announcer. This is Jimmy.
AD the Great 28 says Inoue over Fulton. You're crazy. If Fulton pulls it off, I wouldn't be shocked. I think Fulton's one of the elite fighters in boxing. If he's not top 10 pound for pound, he's the definition of knocking on the door. He's the best 122 in the game. He not only is he fast and a good counterpuncher and a great boxer, but he's a Philadelphia tough fighter. He could fight on the inside like he showed against Angelo Leo. Not a puncher by any means, but Stephen Fulton, man, if I wouldn't be surprised at all if Philadelphia's own pulls it off. But Inoue is a special fighter in terms of I wrote to a Japanese writer, Daisuke Segura, today. When he asked me about the fight, and he's going to include me, I guess, in Yahoo Japan. And I said, I think Inoue is the most explosive fighter when you talk about that blend of power and speed in the sport right now, pound for pound. And he edges out even a guy like Tank Davis by a little bit and a few others alongside Tank as well. I think pound for pound, he's the most explosive guy, and he's very fundamentally sound, although defensively, he'll get put to the test, and I expect his face to get lumped up and that he'll look like he was in a fight when it's all said and done. But fighting at home, I just think he's going to hurt Fulton throughout the fight more times than Fulton's able to hurt him. He'll be able to steal some rounds away from Fulton by hurting him in rounds where Fulton boxed extremely well, and I think he'll get a decision in Japan. So,
Junior. Thank you very much, Ben. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you.
Jimmy Lennon in the house.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former WBC Super Welterweight Champion of the World, Tony Superbad Harrison.
Just as corrupt as the other 3, if not the most, but still the coveted sexy green belt that Tony wants to. Now, Tony, doesn't look particularly, great, really, at the weigh-in, if we're being honest. And at 6'1", having made 154 his whole career, and the way he has faded sometimes in the second half of fights, you wonder if it's because at 6'1", does getting down to 54 all this time take a little something out of him in the second half of fights. But
Harrison weighs in at 69.62 kilograms.
Anton Young, the fight is on Showtime.
153.5 U.S. pounds.
PulseX DEX said that we break hearts in other countries. That is true, but I've also remember watching boxing and see guys like Chris Bird and Jeff Lacey get pummeled overseas too. So we don't always break their hearts overseas. Sean, do you see a KO in this fight?
Ladies and gentlemen, to the scale.
I do think Tim will stop him in the second half of the fight. We'll
the
see.
elite boxing family tradition and hailing from Sydney, Australia. He is undefeated in his campaign, 21-0, 15 knockouts. He holds the WBO global title.
Ed McQueen said he spoke about previous weight cuts training him and how this was his best camp thus far. Yeah, but I've heard a lot of fighters say it was their best camp thus far into their 30s, and only for them to look their age on Fight Night.
Undefeated WBO #1 ranked contender in producing
Boy, the
the
Trillis
undefeated
says Tony by split decision.
Tim Tszyu.
Malcolm Emanuel said Tony gonna kill this kid. BBW says Tony gonna win every round, and if he gets you close rounds, Tszyu is not Charlie River. Only way to make Tony fade is to wear him down if he doesn't have enough.
U.S. pounds.
And Tony with the height advantage as expected. Tim looking a little more youthful in the body, a little more filled out and healthy at 154, more muscular at the division. Two different body types too, but
There they are, ladies and gentlemen. Do not miss the action.
you know what? Looking at Tony here, let's compare how Tony looked here to the Charlo fight. I'm curious, Charlo to weigh in. There we go. Get the FightHype version.
Basketball is back.
Get the FightHype version.
Watch
Just
the
be
action
safe,
live
right?
with
850
YouTube
people in the
TV.
chat.
Try it
This
free.
is awesome. We will be
Claritin knocks
rocking
out
with the
symptoms
fight
worth
in about 10
$200
minutes once the main
without
event
knocking you
telecast
out.
begins.
Claritin
And
Clear.
we're doing the old school round-by-round commentary, calling it right down the middle.
Super welterweight championship of the world. The weight limit on this fight is
PulseX DX
154
saying
pounds. First to the scale
DX and the
at this
commentary
time.
on here is
The
top
man who
tier.
is
So
looking to regain
I would agree. I think I'm a little biased, but I'd agree. So definitely stick around in the next 10 minutes when we get started on Tony Harrison taking on Tim Tszyu for that interim WBO super welterweight title.
This title.
Let's compare here how Tony looked in that rematch with Jermell Charlo for that great rematch that took place in Ontario, California. I just covered a fight there, Brandon Figueroa and Mark Magsayo.
The WBC Super
Yeah,
welterweight
look at the kind of
champion
shape
world,
Tony was in
Tony
for the Charlo fight. I mean,
Harrison.
it's not bodybuilding, it's not weightlifting, but Tony looks a lot more cut and more muscularly defined in this fight. You guys got to admit it in the chat.
153.2. We'll call that 153 and 1/4 pounds for the defending champion.
Look, shut up, music. Mute. Man, Jermell Charlo is got to be a fight fan's favorite. All-time great at 154 at this point, man. Having been the only undisputed 54 in the four-belt era. Look at the shape Tony was in compared to the video we just watched. He was a lot more muscular and cut up for this Charlo fight than he was yesterday in Australia. Again, doesn't mean that he's not going to pull off this upset with his skills and smarts and speed and length, but that's not a good sign, if we're being honest. As we're doing the pregame show here, damn, we're at 940 people in here now. Chat, what'd you guys think? Cheyenne Curry says looks the same? I don't know, man. I think we got to do a little Pepsi taste test here. Little Pepsi Coke taste test. I'm not believing that, Cheyenne. Not believing it. Harrison Tszyu weighing. Or maybe Tony's about to make this look like Vince Phillips versus Costa Tszyu. Who remembers that fight in the chat? I know that's what Tony is planning on, making this look like, oh, maybe you're right. Maybe it is pretty much the same. I might be making too much out of it. But let's take a look. I don't know, chat. All right. Tony in the... Yesterday, Tony, 3 years ago against Charlo. I don't know, man. I'm seeing more muscle. I'm seeing more...
Tony Harrison weighs in at 69.
It's not dramatic. Nah, look at the abs, man. The six-pack has almost disappeared. Look at that. My man got his abs on point for that Charlo rematch. See? Nope. Six-pack in effect. Two-pack in effect here. It's all good. Could just be lighting, says Alex Vargas. You're right. Simba says, nah, bro, looked way better versus Charlo. Son of Apollo says, looks exactly the same. JP with an interesting comment. JP has Vince McMahon coming out and knocking out both of them. I don't think so. But, if that happens, I will call it. I will call it just like Jim Ross would. Well, there's Vince McMahon! 1,000 people in the chat now. No disrespect, but if Terrell Gausha dropped Tim on a close fight, what will the top tier do to him? Harrison gonna shut him out and box him to the 12th, says Ezio. So, all right, let's see what else. What other in this? We got 5 minutes left until I can flash over here to Showtime anytime and get the fight going. Let's see. Well, Tony was shirtless at the press conference, which was interesting, But let's see here.
Introducing Astapro Allergy. Astapro is steroid-free, unlike Flonase. Astapro and go.
When the sawdust settles and the engine finally roars, the thing you care about most is a job well done. But when you get your tools from Harbor Freight, something about the job.
Omar Munoz says he loves Australia. That's what's up. We got some Australia love. Bro, it's about the hands, mate, says Manny Pele. It is, obviously, but just,
You said, how did I
looking
do it?
and analyzing this stuff heading in.
Like I said, man, this camp for me was probably one of the easiest camps for me to make the weight. Usually you see my cheekbones sucked in and drop.
That's what I was getting at. I mean, at 6'1", 6'1", tall guy who's been making 54 his whole career. I mean, usually after a certain amount of time, a fighter moves up in weight, and you would think Tony at 6'1" would fill out great at 160 pounds. So,
like I'm an alien, I already got a big head. So, when the weight shrink, it look like I got all head. So, yeah, man, I feel amazing, man. I feel amazing. I made weight extremely well, extremely calculated this time. And to me, this was always...
Sean Suave said Kambosos actually beat Haney both times low-key. No, he high-key got dominated in both fights.
It's always been my hardest part, but I made it fairly well. I think he needs to be fairly scared of what's happening tomorrow.
How much weight do you think you'll put on between now and the first belt?
One SSS says Tony Harrison made a gym in his community center for people and the kids in Detroit. I think Tony, win or lose, could be one of the great trainers in boxing. When it's all said and done, for the future of the sport. He learned a lot from his dad, Ali Salam, and Emmanuel Stewart, and all the great trainers and experience coming up in Detroit. And I think it's important, actually, for the future of the sport that Tony is one of the trainers that teaches some of the young guys, the amateurs coming up that'll eventually go pro.
I mean, I don't know. Whatever my body allows me to put on, I'm not looking to walk in the ring being 180 pounds. I'm looking to walk in being whatever my body's allowed, the good weight my body allows me to carry. I want to carry that weight.
It was a pretty intense stare from Tim up there. What did you see in his eyes?
I think he know the weight of the world is on his shoulders right now, and I don't think he understands how he gonna carry it. I'm looking in his eyes. He was shaking. He was. He's been shaking every day all the way up until today. So he's nervous.
It's just a great story of can this guy's experience, and he's still got the hand speed, can his experience and has he the experiences he's learned from those 3 losses, and of course, being the former champion when he won the first Charlo fight, can all that overcome a guy with youth on his side? Real youth, not just a slow young guy with a blown up record. Tszyu has a lot to prove, a lot to prove resume wise, but he carries with him real youth. Explosiveness, punching power, hunger, intensity, and that's going up against the cool, calm, and collected experience of Tony Harrison. So looking forward to calling this fight in just a couple of moments.
I think that this time and presence, it's nerves for him.
So that's the occasion's finally dawned on him.
Well, no, it's been dwelling on him, but it's just nerves. I can see nerves in him.
Tony, how do you think he did the weight?
To be honest, I think
Lit
it hurt
Logistics
him.
said, LTT Logistics says the boxing Jim Ross. You should be so
I seen
kind,
him today. He looked like he was struggling. So, but none of that matters, man. Only thing that matters is how he performs tomorrow. He can do things between now and tomorrow, and that rehydrates himself and brings his body.
All right, let me pause this and go ahead and take a look now at getting this fight pulled up here on the Showtime app. It's a little tough to find this fight tonight. I'm on the Showtime app, but hold on. Still having little problems pulling it up somewhere. Like where we come on now. Those of you in the chat, we're here looking for it. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute, chat. I might have to actually pull this fight up in the living room. Because is this only on Showtime cable? Should be streaming on Showtime too. Got it. Okay, I see it now. Let me pull this back up, and I should be good to go and get this fight pulled up on my laptop. Here we go. Oh, excuse me, on my PC here. All right. All right, we're about to be Gucci, as the kids say. Well, they don't say that shit anymore. It was horrible that it was ever a slang. All right, they're showing Qudos Tszyu. Showing Qudos Tszyu on this Showtime package now. Qudos Tszyu with his son Tim Tszyu, and apparently Qudos Tszyu didn't really, raise his son, the way a lot of us do, the way I raised my son, all lovey-dovey and nurturing and whatnot. He Costa, I don't know if he's going to be at the fight tonight. He's missed plenty of his son's fights. He's not all in the camp, all in the video. He is not. He's not that heavily involved in his son's career. And I don't even know life, really. Qudos Tszyu, the Russian Olympian of Mongolian descent, and then, became an Australian citizen and an Australian celebrity. And, even though he's not really an Aussie, he's a Mongolian Russian Olympian, but he's considered Australia's greatest fighter, along with, Jeff Fenech, and even now George Kambosos is up there. Alan Green, or Danny Green, or Anthony Mundine probably thinks he's the GOAT. But he's not really in Tim Tszyu's life like that. So it's not like Tim Tszyu had a coddled upbringing. His dad kind of threw him to the wolves, taught him how to fight a little bit when he was young. His dad told a story that when Tim was 6 years old and he put the gloves on him and would try to have him spar with kids, he hit too hard and he'd make the other kids cry, so he couldn't spar with kids his age. So he always, he got his dad's some of his dad's punching power, but Dad wasn't really in his life a whole lot, so he's not this rich, coddled kid with the famous last name. It's not like Chris Eubank Jr., with his dad constantly around him, building up his ego, parading him around to everyone that'll listen. Qudos Tszyu been hands off after apparently teaching his son something, when he was young in the boxing game, and really his uncle has played a huge role in training him and his brother Nikita Tszyu. So that's what we got going on. Thesis GQ asked, is that a Dreamcast controller? Indeed, that is a Dreamcast. That is a Dreamcast controller, and that is an old CRT TV to play the Dreamcast on in the background. We've been going live for over a year now, but it's still a little bit of a modest setup if we're being polite about it. Eventually, I am going to upgrade the the production value. We had 50,000 people watching live for that Tommy Fury Jake Paul fight, and they're all watching me with this, rinky-dink webcam in my office that's pretty messy. Over the next couple months throughout 2023, we're going to upgrade some of the production value here at FightHype headquarters in Vegas. Technically, this isn't the HQ. That would be somewhere else in the United States, but this is the Las Vegas HQ here at FightHype. So, yeah, it's still daytime in the afternoon over there in Australia, and I believe no undercard. We're going to get right into the main event. Ring walks set to happen any minute now. When is the fight, says Max Oxenbridge. And right now, Jermell Charlo is in the studio with Showtime with Brian Custer, Steve Farhood, and former 3-division champ Abner Mares in the studio. Jermell Charlo. I might turn this up a little bit, and I'll tell you guys some of what Jermell's hearing. Can't have that audio here on the stream, but I can hear it. Damn, Dreamcast brings back memories, says the man. Yeah, Dreamcast, to me, the GOAT. I mean, not objectively speaking, it didn't last long enough and things like that, but 2K, yeah, NFL 2K, beautiful. Did anyone peep that I stole the NFL 2K intro song to start the pregame show? Did anyone peep that? I think Costa is Korean, Russian background, not Mongolian, says Jeff Andreas. I'm pretty sure he's Mongolian. Let me look that up, and if I can get some confirmation, I might share it with the chat. Let me take a look. Let's do that. And they're still in the studio right now with Brian Custer, Jermell Charlo, and the Showtime broadcast team. So yeah, as soon as we get to ring walks time, obviously I'll be checking that. Costa Tszyu, Mongolian. Yeah. Oh, you are correct. A Korean. He is Korean and Mongolian. We are both right, my friend in the chat. Yeah. Let's say here. You know what? Why not? We'll go ahead and confirm with some video, with some photo proof here. Oops. Watch out. Watch out now. Let's do it. Just to confirm Mr. Costa Tszyu's. Oh, you know what else? What am I doing here? Let me make this a little bit better. Speaking of production value, there we go. Sorry about that, chat. All right, yeah, Tszyu. Let me see. Where did it say that? Early career. Here, I'll go back to this. Costa Tszyu is a Russian-Australian former boxer, born to a Korean paternal and a Mongolian paternal, and Mongol is maternal, and a Russian mother. Okay. So his father was Korean Mongolian, half and half, and then his mother was Russian. So he's half Russian and a quarter Korean, a quarter Mongolian. Is the great former 140-pound champion Costa Tszyu. So sometimes we make too much about that stuff, but we still got some time to kill as we're waiting for main event time to start. So let me hear what Jermell Charlo's saying here in this live, and I'll relay some of what he's saying. So he's looking forward to a great matchup. I wonder who Jermell would rather win. I mean, Tim Tszyu represents a new challenge, a new name on the resume. He's already knocked out Tony Harrison, so I would think Tim Tszyu, but Tony Harrison in America would be maybe a funner build-up. Not too much. Just he's looking forward to a good fight. Jermell not on his bullshit tonight. Not talking too crazy. Not just yet. He'll save that for the winner when they get past the other fighter. So. Slim Ozzy says, are you showing the fight or just talking trash? We're doing a live round-by-round commentary, Slim Ozzy. If you clicked on the video, it says, in parentheses, live, exclamation mark. Tim Tszyu versus Tony Harrison, round-by-round commentary. So that's what we're doing. What's good, Wavoka40? Good to see Wavoka40 in there. Good to see you in the chat, brother. We're just waiting to get started here, man. Waiting to get started with Tszyu Harrison. Ready for some ring walk time. So, Ultimate Ability says co-event commentary, please. Yes. What else is Brian Custer saying there in studio? Let me hear what Showtime team is talking about. Thank you, never let fear stop you. Yeah, once we get the fight started, man, it's time to call the action, you know. Well, Showtime just showing what we got on FightHype already. Tim Tszyu walking in the blue soccer jersey alongside his girl. Steve Farhood and them in there. So maybe I missed it, but who are you picking? Wavoka 40? Yeah, we still got time to kill. So I got Tim Tszyu. I think Tony will fight well like he always does. He's never not fought well in a fight. Even in his 3 losses, he performed well up until he began to fade. And I do think it'll be more of the same tonight. I do think Tim Tszyu's left hook to the body will be key when he pins Tony along the ropes. I think Tim will have to eat a lot of shots in the first half of this fight. I expect his chin to hold up, but he will have to walk through some good fire tonight by Tony Harrison. But I just think, I agree with the odds makers. I think Tony slows down in the second half. Big, tall guy at 6'1", getting down to 154 pounds. Accurate left hook to the body when Tony's pinned along the ropes and he's being slick up top like he was in his last couple fights. And, in his last fight against Garcia. He actually didn't look that good in the fight before that against Bryant Perella. So I got Tim Tszyu, the young guy with some heavy hands, not a home run hitter, but a triples hitter. I think Tim could break him down a little bit with the hook to the body, and if he can make Tony stay stationary in the second half of the fight, that uppercut could be a problem. That right hand over the top could be a problem up top to the head. So I think the right hand over the top and the right uppercut up top are what's going to be a problem for Tony upstairs, and then downstairs that left hook to the body. For Tim Tszyu, he's going to have to walk through the fire. He's going to have to walk through some combinations. The right hand, he's going to eat a lot of jabs. He doesn't have nearly as good a jab as Tony Harrison. And that is the most important punch in boxing, and I think Tony will get off first with the faster hands, the better jab, but I think Tim will show a good chin. He'll show he's a hungry fighter, and he'll show he knows how to cut the ring off and how to stalk a guy and how to place his punches accurately to the body when a guy's slick up top to break him down. I got Tony being ahead in this fight, maybe halfway through, but Tim slowing him down as the fight progresses and stopping him in the second half. If Tony pulls it off, shout out to Detroit tonight. But I do got Tim Tszyu winning this fight. We'll have to see once we get time to see the action. We got about 1,100 people in here, so a lot of boxing fans are excited for this fight. This isn't, a pay-per-view fight. This isn't technically, it's just an interim world title fight, but this is a fight that real boxing fans are looking forward to. And right now, Showtime is showing that replay of that straight right hand Terrell Goucher placed on Tim Tszyu to drop him in round 1. Tszyu, though, smothered that right hand a lot better as the fight went on, hurt Goucher multiple times, pinned Goucher along the ropes multiple times. Terrell Goucher just won a fight by knockout this last Saturday in Ontario, California against Brandon Lynch. So Terrell Goucher has a good right hand. Tim Tszyu, he needed those experiences, and actually, I'm happy they showed that right hand that landed for Terrell Goucher, because it's a blessing in disguise that Tim Tszyu has to fight Tony Harrison tonight. Tim Tszyu, had he gotten his shot as originally planned, January 28th here in Las Vegas at Mandalay Bay, he probably would have lost that fight against Jermell Charlo. I feel very confident, although Charlo against certain guys, Brian Castano and Tony Harrison, it took him 2 times to get it right. In the second fight, both times, he showed up kind of like Ward did in the second fight with Kovalev. Showed up twice the fighter, left no doubt, and won by knockout. But I do think still that Jermell would have beat Tim Tszyu January 28th. Terrell Goucher wasn't enough to get him ready for Jermell Charlo, who's been in title fights the last 6 or 7, over 6 years, 6.5 years now. Going on 7 years since he won that belt, that WBC belt against John Jackson. So Tim Tszyu wasn't ready. This will have him ready. Terrell Goucher was a very good step in the right direction to be prepared for a Charlo, and Tony Harrison is a another tremendous step in the right direction to get him ready. He was going to be too green for Jermell Charlo January 28th. You know, the boxing angels blessed him by Charlo getting injured, and he gets this Tony Harrison fight, which is a great step-up fight to get ready for Charlo. If he can get past this fight with Harrison tonight, and if Charlo has to go into a Tim Tszyu fight with no tune-up, Tszyu's chances went from low to significantly better, even though he'd still be an underdog against the undisputed champ Charlo. So this fight actually is a beautiful blessing in disguise for Tim Tszyu tonight. He needed this fight if he's going to have any real chance at pulling it off for undisputed. So, Dane Malavi says, Tim ain't beating Harrison. We will find out soon enough. SM says, what up, though? What's up, SM? Rudy Contreras says, Showtime. SM said, Detroit is in the house. What round is it? Says the Mac. Fight hasn't started yet. Showtime is wrapping up their final features, and then it's time for ring walk time. Harrison is a real boxer. Tim is a brawler, says Omar Munoz. Omar, I think we might find out tonight that Tim is a more calculated, intelligent pressure fighter than just a brawler, but we'll find out. His skills will be put to the test against the best fighter he's ever faced up to this point. Barney Marie said, Barney on that last name. Barney said, looking forward to FightHype, the voice of boxing commentary, New Zealand, backing Tim Tszyu against the formidable and cunning Tony Harrison. You guys hear the class and the respectfulness coming from the New Zealander? The cunning and formidable Tony Harrison. Authentic Boxing Media says, keep dropping great content. Appreciate that, brother. So we shall see. Mike says, we don't need a trilogy. Charlo won both fights. That first fight was close. Could have went either way. I didn't think it was terrible that Tony got the decision, you know. Charlo wasn't active enough in that fight. Tony was slick in that fight. Didn't let Charlo hit him that often. Charlo didn't throw that many punches per round. Tony had a moment in the 9th round where he buzzed Charlo a little bit with a counter straight right hand, and Tony got the decision that night. So Charlo left no doubt in the rematch. Although Tony fought beautifully in the middle rounds of that fight against Charlo. Fought beautifully in the middle rounds of that fight. But then he faded, and that may be the case again tonight against Tim Tszyu, like it was against Hurd, like it was against Willie Nelson. That is the book. That is the data out on Tony Harrison, that he's a tremendous, fighter in terms of skills, got great hand speed, great length, smart, but punch resistance and the conditioning fades in the second half of fights, So we'll see if he can exercise that demon, that sentiment, that consensus against Tim Tszyu tonight. Jimmy John said, who is winning? Jimmy John, fight hasn't started just yet. We are awaiting ring walks from Australia. Showtime is finishing up their feature packages for Tony Harrison now after doing their package for Tim Tszyu. So, let's see. Sean Suave said, Costa will be disappointed if Tim loses in Sydney. I'm sure he will be, but Costa, again, hasn't been all in the, he has not been the puff daddy in his son's career. He's actually let his brother, Tim's uncle, do most of the legwork in training and getting his son prepared. So, Costa Tszyu, though, if you're a Tony Harrison fan, you're thinking Vince Phillips, 97 against Costa Tszyu, Boxing After Dark HBO, right? If you're listening and you're from Detroit, you're probably thinking Tony Harrison's going to make this look like Vince Phillips did against Tim Tszyu's daddy. So, we'll see. Metalhead Smurf says, I look forward to hearing your commentary skills. Thank you, brother. Can't wait to call the fight. We're just waiting. SNTSBC, Australian Fibia. Forsters, Australian Fibia. How to Speak San Franciscan. From the basketball movie. Some of you will catch. I'm not going to finish the joke. Perfect Cell. Good to see Perfect Cell in the chat, man. I remember Perfect Cell's been in a few chats. Also, Perfect Cell was a great villain in Dragon Ball. Supporting my brother and my city, Detroit. Stand up. And shout out to Detroit tonight. Detroit, one of the great cities in boxing history. Got guys like James Toney and Floyd Mayweather, Joe Louis in the surrounding area. Tony Harrison repping Detroit tonight. great, MCs, Royce the 5'9" and Eminem from Detroit. Kid Rock we won't hold Detroit accountable for Kid Rock. MC Breed from Detroit too. So shout out to Detroit in the house tonight. Detroit, go ahead and list some more fighters that came from the D or just the Michigan area. Go ahead and put the chat on game. What's up, Need That Productions? Molly Mall said boxing is way too segregated. No one in Australia drinks Foster's, says you and you. Yeah, I believe it. I believe that. I feel like everyone everywhere drinks Mexican beer. I drink Corona. Feel like everyone around the world likes Corona. So, Exhibit, right? Celestial Being. We forget Exhibit because of the whole California thing. DJ K9 Kennel says Detroit, we're here, baby. Jim McMiller said Michigan, home USA, home of the greatest fighters. Yes, sir. Midwest, no doubt. Henry Armstrong, Sasuke Kun. Yes, sir. So, all right. Keys to victory from Al Bernstein. Non-stop pressure for Tim Tszyu. Empty the toolbox and accelerate late. God, I love Al Bernstein's tips. Keys to victory for Tony Harrison from Al Bernstein. Sir, jab a lot. Yeah, he has the better jab. Middle of the ring, stay off the ropes. Absolutely. Keep focused. Yes, because Tony, in that rematch with Charlo, he's fighting beautifully in the middle rounds. Then he started playing to the crowd, and the fight began to get away from him. So, great points. Actually, these keys to victory, I don't know if they're from Steve Farhood or Abner Morris, because shout out to Al Bernstein, whose wife isn't well apparently tonight, and Al couldn't make the broadcast. So, Steve Farhood is brilliant as well. Abner Morris, arguably borderline Hall of Famer from that 3-division run he had in the early 2010s. Maybe those were his tips, but fantastic tips, whoever those came from. Whether it's Al Bernstein or Steve Farhood, they have tremendous notes, and you could tell they watch a lot of tape. A lot of you in the chat watch tape. People like my man Ant McQueen watch a lot of tape in the chat. MC Breed is from Flint, Joe Lewis from Alabama, and Exhibit is from New Mexico. Well, the man, way to rain on our parade. Thank you for the facts, though. That's why I had to read the comment. Richard Boone said, I liked your interview with Kenny Porter, Sean Porter's dad. Thank you, Richard. Love Kenny. I still got to get my coat back from Kenny. That's my bad from leaving it over where he's at. You and you said, pour out your Fosters for Detroit. Tony's about to be sparked out. Hey now. Let's keep it civil, Australia and Detroit. We don't want this to be the chat room version of the audience at Madison Square Garden for Bo Holyfield 1. We don't want just a whole clash in the chat. Let's keep it classy now. Mahrez ran from Tank, says Toon. Come on, man. Mahrez is so past his prime at this point. It would be awful to put him in there with someone like Gervonta Davis. Oh, actually, it looks like we do still have some co-main event work on the Showtime telecast. Gonzalez against Akuso here in the co-main event. Okay, so it looks like we do got four rounds left in the co-main event before we get time. Uneski Gonzalez, I recognize this fella. Uneski Gonzalez getting countered by an uppercut by Akuso out there. Akuso, probably a New Zealand fighter. Great uppercut. Oh, down goes Uneski Gonzalez on a beautiful right uppercut by Akuso. And whoever this Akuso kid is, let me go to the old box rec. This kid ain't bad. Beautiful uppercut there, dropping the veteran Uneski Gonzalez. And I almost wonder, did I just tune in at the right time, or is this a highlight from earlier? Let me take a look here. Uneski Gonzalez on the box rec. Uneski Gonzalez on his way to getting stopped. The Cubano. Beautiful combination punching on the ropes along from Akuso. And this fella, let me take a look at this young man, because he could fight whoever this was on the co-main. Paulo Akuso at 3-0, taking out a 26-fight veteran, now a 27-fight veteran. But this kid, Paulo Akuso, at 25 years old, Southpaw light heavyweight, 4-0 with 4 knockouts now. Go ahead, chat. Check out Paulo Akuso from Australia, not New Zealand. He's from Australia. Looks like he might be of Samoan descent, even though he's an Aussie. Maybe kind of like Jai Opataya from a Samoan. Maybe he's of Samoan descent, like Jai Opataya from New Zealand or Australia. Was Opataya from Australia or New Zealand? I believe New Zealand. Let me see here. No, Australia. Excuse me, Chad. I do get them confused. He's Australian, the IBF Cruiserweight champion, who really impressed with how he beat Maurice Breedis. He's the ring champion, actually. So yeah, but beautiful finish to the round. Actually, Yuneski Gonzalez did beat the count, and he's still up here in the 7th. So excuse me, not 4. It looked like he stopped him, and the ref stopped it, but it was actually the end of the 6th round after that knockdown. But this kid Paulo Acoso, let me look him up. He has the Olympic tattoo tatted on his back. Probably performed in the Olympics. He looks like a top flight prospect in the light heavyweight division. The way he's looking here at just 3-0 with some hand speed and countering. And let's take a look. He lost narrow. Okay, so he did represent Australia at light heavyweight. He is Samoan. So yes, I was correct. He is Samoan. Paulo Acoso in the 7th round here against Cubano Yuneski Gonzalez. Yuneski bleeding from that mouth in this co-main event of Harrison and Tszyu. The kid looks good, though, this Paulo Acoso kid. He's sharp. Southpaw, countering nicely, good hand speed. Little bit of clowning, though, as he smiles and takes a walk off to the left after landing 2 counter shots. Now he smiles and walks off to his right. I don't like the clowning and the lack of attentiveness against the veteran, but I do like how sharp and crisp his hand speed is, and his counters are coming out in the southpaw stance from this Olympian out of Australia. So watch out for these, Samoan, Aussie, New Zealand. Oh, nice right hand landing, though, for the veteran Yuneski Gonzalez. And Acoso clowning a little bit too much here in the 7th round. Acoso playing with his food when he should look to get Gonzalez out of there, who's bleeding from the mouth, who he dropped in the 6th round. Now 2 jabs land for Yuneski Gonzalez. And Acoso clowning after eating those 2 jabs, and I don't like that. This kid looks talented at 25 years old, and you want to see the focus and the foot on the pedal here. Are y'all watching this Gonzalez-Acoso fight? Yes, Mac1, indeed. Acoso, high guard, drops his right hand down to his waist now. Little less than a minute left in the 7th round. Short with his jab. Makes Yuneski lunge forward with that right hand, and he makes Yuneski eat a jab and takes a half step back there. Acoso, though, not following up that knockdown beautifully. Nice counter right hook by Acoso, though, catching the uppercut by Gonzalez and coming back with his hook. 30 seconds left in this 7th round in that Kona main event. Crowd looks sold out down there in Australia for that Tim Tszyu main event with Tony Harrison. So, man, over 1,300 people in the chat. Battle IQ saying some Australian pubs have banned these events due to fights breaking out. Sheesh. Really? I'm surprised. Again, Acoso taking a walk-off almost like he's Jersey Joe Walcott. But Jersey Joe, though, wouldn't just walk off. He'd walk off and then strike. And Acoso coasting. Acosto is a coasting right now after getting that big knockdown in the 6th round. Didn't do much in the 7th round. Did land at times when he opened up, but played with his food a little bit there. Did the 2020 Olympian from Australia. So Nasherman said Harrison is not the same fighter who fought Charlo. We'll see. We were taking a look at the weigh-in comparison, and he was more muscular and more toned for that Charlo rematch at the weigh-in than he was for Tim Tszyu yesterday, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's not going to win the fight. Nasherman says Acoso is very good, and his aim is to win a world title in record time. Well, he's already late for trying to beat the Lomachenko record. I think Lomachenko got it in his 4th fight, and he's in his 4th fight now. David Morrell, technically, by winning the WBA interim or regular belt, was a world champion in 5 or 6 fights. So maybe Acoso, so I don't know if Acoso, he may have to fight for a belt in his next fight, which is impossible because he'd have to fight Morrell, Bivol, or better. No, Morrell's a super middleweight. He'd have to fight Bivol or better Biev. Maybe he could set a record for winning a belt in the fewest fights at light heavyweight, but Beterbiev won a belt with about 10 fights in himself. I think think it was the IBF belt he picked up early on. So here we go in round 8 for Paulo Acoso. In control of this fight against veteran Yuneski Gonzalez, who's been in some fights against, let me take a look at some of the guys Yuneski Gonzalez has faced in the past. Acoso placing in a right uppercut there. Now a nice left uppercut, dips underneath the left hook and walks back to the center of the ring. Kind of cocky is Acoso here. Back into the center of the ring, touching with his lead hand. Left uppercut off that touch from the lead hand. Beautiful left uppercut from the southpaw Acoso in the center of the ring. Now he misses that left uppercut. Keeps touching Yuneski Gonzalez with that lead southpaw hand. Just touching him. And good prospect is Acoso. Don't like the mental lapses of focus, though. But I do like what I'm seeing from him just in his 4th fight as a professional. Beautiful right hook. Touched with the lead hand to find distance. Threw a straight left hand to set up a hard right hook that knocked the sweat off of Yuneski Gonzalez's head. Nice right hook there by Acoso in round 8. A little over a minute left in this 8th round of the main event, or the co-main event. Acoso touching with the lead hand, places a straight left, places a right, hook up top, and then 2 hard body shots. Good hand speed in the combinations by Acoso there. Acoso, a little bit of a shoulder roll near the corner, touching with his lead hand, moves over to his left and eats a right hand by Gonzalez that knocked the sweat off, and he clowns as if to say that didn't do anything, but he did get touched there by that right hand by Gonzalez. You could see the sweat knock off his head. He took the shot well, though. 30 seconds left in the 8th. Center ring, Acoso with that right hand by his hip. Picks it up a little bit now. Picks up the high guard a little bit. Right hand back at his hip. Gonzalez tries to jab him in between switching that stance. Acoso feinting. Walking over to his left. Eats a jab. Eats another jab by Gonzalez. 10 seconds left. This has been an Acoso round. Falls short with the jab. Does Gonzalez. Gets it parried. And Acoso coasting to finish the 8th round. But he wins it. Looks like, the prospect's on his way, but at 3-0 with 3 knockouts, let's see if he can keep the KO percentage at 100. He's got 2 rounds left in this co-main event from Australia. What's up, chat? 1,300 people in the building, man. R30 said Showtime is showing the co-main event right now. Yep. Southpaws are overrated, says Jimmy John. I don't think the quality of fighter depends on stance, but Tim Tszyu warming up in the dressing room. Wicked right uppercut to the body on the mitts right now by Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu's body looks very good in the dressing room. He looks very compact, strong, good definition. Tony Harrison now, not as strong looking in his body right now in the dressing room as he paces his way back and forth, wearing the Red Wings style trunks tonight at a tribute to the Detroit Red Wings in his hometown of Detroit. Looking at both fighters in the dressing room, and you guys know I call it down the middle. I just call my observations as I see it. Tim looks like the younger, fresher, stronger fighter looking back in the dressing room, and the right uppercut looked explosive to the body that Tim was throwing. Again, I call it down the middle. Judging from how both fighters look in the dressing room, looked a little more encouraging if you're a Tim Tszyu fan than a Tony Harrison fan. But again, we don't know what the future holds until round 1 brings us the action. Here we are in round 9 now for Gonzalez and Acoso. Is it free? Says Troy Sindaw. If you have Showtime, it is free. Oh, straight left hand counter by Acoso, walking Gonzalez into it. Gonzalez almost catching him with the left hook, but ate the straight left hand from Acoso. Acoso in the center of the ring. Not being terribly active, but still accurate when opening up and explosive and crisp. You hear the sirens here in Vegas. Here in my office in Vegas. I got the window open upstairs. Shut up, sirens. Straight left hand lands again for Acoso. Punching in between Gonzalez's punches. Showing some counter-punching ability here just 4 fights in. Jab lands. Sets up a straight left hand to the solar plexus for Paulo Acoso. Jab lands again, setting up a straight left to the body this time. Gonzalez catching it. Now Gonzalez slipping underneath the sweeping left hand in the center of the ring from Acoso. Acoso trying to throw it almost like a hook from the southpaw stance, that left hand that time, but Gonzalez getting underneath it. Center ring, Okoso switching up stances, and that's what you like to see at the top level, is a guy who can punch with his hand low, with his hand high, do it out of a couple of different looks, and that's what Okoso's doing right now. Sometimes picking that right hand up, sometimes leaving it at the hip. Muscular guy, solid explosiveness, very solid hand speed at light heavyweight, Paulo Okoso. And, you know, just in his fourth fight, maybe pacing himself in terms of the pace here. You would like to see a little bit more activity. Now he's along the ropes, and Gonzalez letting his hands go, hits him with a left hook up top, touches his body a little bit. 1-2 up top, sets up another left hook. Now a little sweeping right hand, and a right hand to the body for Gonzalez. Some good work for Yuneski Gonzalez with Okoso along the ropes with about 20 seconds left in the 9th round. Still Okoso's round, but a good moment there for Yuneski Gonzalez with Okoso along the ropes. Straight left hand for Okoso. Touch with that lead right hand, and boom, straight left hand behind it. Lands. Didn't commit fully to it, though. Just a straight left hand landing down the pipe. 10 seconds left. Gonzalez gets Okoso into the ropes. Okoso looking up at the clock. And again, I haven't loved his pace here down the stretch in this fight, but he is just a prospect still, after all, against a 26-fight veteran. Let's see. Takes big heart to travel to the Lion's Den, says the real Kronk Jim. When Fennec trained with Emmanuel, that flight and time change was crazy hard. Lee Williamson saying you need a haircut. Lee Williamson, chat, let Lee Williamson know the hair was much longer before, brother. It's a lot more on point and shorter now. I'm not gonna cut it any. I'm not cutting it any shorter than this, Lee Williamson. I'm sorry. Stick around for the commentary. Maybe go ahead and lower me in the tab. Minimize the tab if the hair gets on the nerves that much. I got you on the commentary. Harrison Ford's brother, Harrison Down, featuring in the 3rd round. Was that a joke, Joel Faulkner? I get it. It was a little convoluted, the joke. A little grammatically tough to translate that joke, but here we are in round 10. Finally, final round of this co-main event. Yuneski Gonzalez against 2020 Olympian Paulo Okoso of Australia. And Okoso dropped him in the 6th round, didn't follow up on it, has played with his food a little bit, maybe weary of gassing out in a 10-rounder, being that, you know, he's only in his 4th professional fight, but still impressing me as a prospect with how sharp he is, his explosiveness, his hand speed. Not super young, he's 25 years old. I mean, for perspective, you know, Ryan Garcia, 24 years old, is fighting Tank next month. Devin Haney became undisputed at 23. Tank Davis beat Jose Pedraza at 22. So, you know, he should be moving very fast at 25 years old, being an Olympian. Nice straight left hand lands for Okoso, and then he smothers Gonzalez along the ropes. Okoso coming forward right now. Misses a straight left hand. Now he lets go of a right hook out of the clinch with Gonzalez along the ropes. Straight left hand, right hook lands for Okoso. Gonzalez in retreat a little bit along the ropes. Now he clinches Okoso. Okoso may have to go the distance for the first time. 3-0 with 3 knockouts. Yeah, long hair don't care, Jimmy John. Absolutely. Lucito Diaz asking, has the fight started? No, we're in the final round, halfway through the final round of Paulo Okoso and Yuneski Gonzalez in the co-main event from Australia. Sold out crowd from Sydney. Okoso in control of this round, not letting his hands go too much. Fights in the center of the ring where his hand speed has the advantage and his superior skills and sharpness. Okoso picking the hands up, throws a straight left hand, but Gonzalez not really trying to win this round. Looks like he just wants to see the final bell. Straight left hand lands for Okoso, minute left. Gonzalez along the ropes ate that straight left hand. Okoso using that lead hand to blind the vision, just touch, and then threw that straight left hand down the pipe to land at that time. Okoso looking like a cocky fighter, though, at times, and there's nothing wrong with that, but there is something wrong with mental lapses, and he has done that a few times down the stretch of being in control of this fight. And it's part of why he might not get the stoppage. 30 seconds left. Samantha, love you, sweetheart. My wife in the chat, Samantha Sanchez. Her real name's Samantha Zittel, but obviously that YouTube was made back in the day. Paulo Acoso waving his arms up at the crowd. 15 seconds left. He will indeed make it to the final bell for the first time as a pro. Looks like he'll be 4-0 with 3 knockouts. Gonzalez playing keep away in this final round in the co-main event. Happy to just make it the distance with the 25-year-old Olympian. Acoso, don't love his attitude. With 5 seconds left, Acoso turns his back to Yuneski, waves him off as if to say he doesn't really want to fight, and he showboats to the crowd. I didn't love the temperament of Acoso, and it's not about me being a crabby, white guy, not loving the young man showing out and loving and being confident. Nothing wrong with that. It's the lack of pace down the stretch after dropping this man, Yuneski Gonzalez, in the 6th round. And it's the mental lapses, not continuing to stay on and get him out of there, finish the job all the way through, and coasting. Coasting was a coaster. I'm going to keep making that corny, joke, pun. But, I didn't love the lapses in mental focus down the stretch there. I did like the counter-punching. I did like the timing, the speed, and how sharp Acoso was. But he will have to tighten up that focus if he's ever going to beat a Dimitri Bivol or a better Biev. But definitely arrogant. Fire in My Bones says, agreed, a bit arrogant, even for a fighter. Yeah, and a little too arrogant for being 3-0, right? Keep that foot on the pedal, get this man out of here, and you didn't. You dropped him in the 6th, and you spent more time or half the time showboating than you did punching and getting him out of there. But he still is a very legit prospect. Jimmy H saying, yeah, that was whack as fuck. Andrew White said, weak finish. Trey5 says he didn't like it either. He says, respect the sport. Yeah, and I'm not doing the old crabby man thing. I mean, it's Ali would showboat, but he'd showboat pelting you with the 1-2, closing the show. Ali threw 72 punches in the 14th round against Joe Frazier. In the 14th round at heavyweight, threw 72 punches. So keep your foot on the pedal, young man. That's all. But 4-0, a good prospect at light heavyweight is Paulo Acoso. So now Tim Tszyu in the dressing room doing the old Julio Cesar Chavez, that the Mexican fighters made famous, loosening that jaw in the dressing room. De La Hoya used to do it too. Yep, he's loosening that jaw up, getting that Vaseline applied, and Tim Tszyu looks ready to go. His body looks ready to go. His punches in the dressing room looked pretty goddamn explosive, and Tim Tszyu looks ready to fight. Body looks really good on fight night. Looks like he's rehydrated very well. Doesn't look weight drained at all. And they're wrapping up in the ring now, set to announce who won this co-main event. Clearly it was Paulo Acoso. 1,500 people in the chat for a fight that, in America wasn't thought of as being that big, but I knew the boxing fans would show out tonight on the chat because this is a good fight. This is a fight for the boxing heads. So shout out to 1,500 people in the chat, getting close to 1,600 now. We might hit over 2,000 once it's main event time. So Darius Turner said, Sean, did you put your money on the fight? And if so, who are you putting your money on? I did not put money on the fight. I never put money on the fight. I don't want to jinx my forecast. And also, to bet would be a little biased. It would mean at that moment I have a horse in the race, and I like to call everything down the middle. I got Tim Tszyu winning the fight in the second half. He's going to have to walk through the fire. He's going to get pieced up early by the hand speed and the skills and the smarts of Tony. But Tim Tszyu is a very good pressure fighter. He's developing into a very good pressure fighter. We can't say he is a very good pressure fighter yet. He's got to prove he is tonight against Tony Harrison. But I got Tim Tszyu winning the fight by stoppage in the second half. But if Tony pulls it off, shout out to Detroit. It's Detroit's night, and it'll be, and we'll celebrate Detroit's own if he pulls it off tonight overseas. But I do got the young man Tim Tszyu breaking Tony down as the fight progresses and stopping him in the second half. Tony's never lost a fight by decision. His 3 losses are by stoppage once he began to fade. So I do think that'll happen once again. But I expect him to fight very well up until that point. Now over 1,600 people in the chat. Let's keep it going. Uptown Caveman said, hey, mate, thanks for your broadcast. I wasn't going to pay for seeing Tim get knocked out. Uptown Caveman, with no confidence in what sounds like his countrymen, feels like Tim Tszyu. Are you an Aussie, Caveman, and you feel like your man's going to get knocked out? Jeez. I appreciate your objectivity, you know, and not just thinking your guy's going to win. Justin Rayner said, Detroit, Harrison for the win. ESPN did not even show this match as a key date, says motherfucker. Great. I feel like I pronounced your name pretty well, too. Yeah, that's a shame that ESPN. This is definitely a notable fight. I mean, it's for the interim WBO title, so technically-ish, it is a world title fight. Let me hear what Jermell Charlo's saying here on the broadcast. Just in a moment. Let me hear what Jermell. Right now they're in studio with Brian. Now we're at over 1,700 people, man. We're gonna get to 2,000 in the chat. I can feel it. Real Kronk Jim again saying Detroit's in the house. Mark Coburn says he's got 2 stacks on Tim Tszyu. Jimmy John said Australia represent. Metalhead Smurf said he's not an Aussie then. Andrew Minogue says Tim Tszyu with a 3rd round finish tonight. We'll see. Australia ain't gangster, says Sergio Guillen. And Alicia Bumgarner from the D, Tony's fighter that trains, she said in this fight we will see the difference between an Australian fighter and a Detroit fighter. We'll see. Let's see. I agree with you. Jermell versus Spence soon, says Raymond Charles. We can only dream. I don't think that would ever happen. Derek James would have to do 30 seconds in one corner, sprint, carry the water bottle into the other corner for the other 30 seconds. Actually, both guys would only get 28 seconds because the 2 seconds it would take him to go to each corner. So, but I'd love to see it, not going to lie. Salute from New Orleans, says Durana. Says he's got Harrison, you dig? Thank you, brother, for being in the chat. Tony Easy Wins, says Hunnit Thou. I love it, man. We got Aussies in the building. Detroit is definitely in the building. And may the best man win as always, man. This is what we all love boxing for, is competitive fights like this. The young, hungry guy, heavy-handed guy against the smart, fast, slick, long, experienced guy. And we'll see. Maybe Tony Harrison surprises Tim Tszyu with his punching power. Maybe Tim Tszyu surprises Tony Harrison with some of his skills and his quickness. I think Tim Tszyu isn't as slow as some people think. Isn't as slow as Tony Harrison might think, but it remains to be seen. Tony Harrison's definitely got the better jab, and Tim Tszyu's going to have to walk through a lot of jabs, and, you know, when you can touch a guy with the jab, that sets up the rest of the offense too. So Tim Tszyu will have to show his chin and his heart tonight, but I do think the young man has the strength, has the chin to walk through it and get to Tony Harrison later in the fight once Tony maybe starts to slow down. So right now, Showtime rolling out some advertising for its future fights. Carlos Adames against J-Rock. Errol Spence coming soon, it says. David Morrell coming soon. Jermall Charlo coming soon. David Morrell. So Danny Garcia coming soon. Errol Spence coming soon. Keith Thurman coming soon. Okay, so Spence Thurman confirmed. Jaron Ennis coming soon. And Jermell Charlo coming soon. That is a trailer by Showtime Boxing. So all the fighters I just named apparently have tentative dates set that will be on the Showtime schedule. Seeing Spence and Thurman one after another kind of confirms to me, okay, that fight will be next, Spence and Thurman. We're getting close to 2,000 people in the chat. Glenn Farrell said Perth, Australia in the house. Kieran Mooney says Tim's a knockout artist. Andrew Minogue says Tim will get Tony Harrison to the body eventually. Yeah, be sure to share the live. Yes, thank you, Authentic Boxing Media. Be sure to share the live video. We're at almost 2,000 viewers. Yes, I know it. We're gonna get over 2,000 for main event time. I already know it. Let's see. When is main event? Any moment now. Aussie, oi, 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 says Josh Mooley. Jimmy D says Aussie. Yeah, so Showtime just wrapping up in the broadcast. New Zealand in this motherfucker, says Kieran Mooney. Brandon Day says Tim's body shots will destroy Tony. Detroit, where you at, man? The Tim fans are starting to flood. Let's see. Sonia Dumas. Good to see you, Sonia Dumas. Great to see Sonia. Sonia always great in the chats. Sonia loves some Canelo. Sonia, I know, is going to be excited once that John Ryder fight comes official. Let's see. What's Jermell Charlo saying? Jermel says there's a reason why I'm undisputed. Being asked, has he seen Tim fight? He said Goucher dropped him. And he said, well, you see what I do with guys if Goucher dropped him. Jermel, confident and smiling. Yep. Brian Custer saying, speaking like a true champ. Yep. Jermel Charlo, smiling. Doesn't seem to be sweating the skills of Tim Tszyu if that's who he has to fight next. Smiles and says, well, if Goucher dropped him, you guys know what I do. Skate Sunrise says, Aussie, oi. Beep, says Detroit, baby. Emmanuel Tasha, got you, brother. I'm reading for you. Let me see. Who's watching from a sleep station? Someone's watching from a sleep station. Watching from a sleep station, Southwest Queensland, Australia, says Matthew Dennis. John Shuin, are you live streaming the fight? We are doing a live round by round. Just waiting for the fighters to start making their way to the ring. Who's refereeing this one? We don't know yet, GJR. We'll know once we're in main event time. The King of Box says, get a haircut. I already got one. It was actually a lot longer before. You'd be even more mad a month or two ago, or for any of the live streams we've had. This is actually at an all-time short here on the FightHype live streams. This is FightHype history with how short the hair is for the stream. So, feel blessed about that, or just minimize the window and listen to my voice. Patrick Kennedy says, it'll be a good fight. Harrison is a great fighter, not perfect. Hunted Thou says, keep the same energy. Tony's going to win by knockout. Got M says, go Tim the Soul. All right, here we go. It is main event time. Fighters set to make the ring walks now. Tail of the tape in this junior middleweight bout for the interim WBO title. Listening from a coal mine in Newcastle, Australia, says remove the chains. Shout out to you, brother. Thanks for joining. And we're over 2,000, chat. We got over 2,000 people in the building. Over 2,000 people at the chat. I hear my wife coming. Is that you, wifey? And sometimes I hear my wife in the background. She likes to come in and give her, you pronounce my name well, says Emmanuel Tashi. All right, what's up? Come here.
I'm all gross right now.
No, just come in. Get in here.
Leo's.
Harrison or Tszyu?
Harrison.
Harrison?
No,
okay,
no.
All right. Tony.
Detroit.
That's Detroit. Say it again. One more time.
Detroit.
Okay, there you go. Detroit Red Wings. Tony Harrison in there. My son want to make a cameo? He better do it as the Australian anthem is being sung. My wife has Tony Harrison. She called Tommy Fury on the Jake Paul stream. Her picks are usually pretty good. So you heard her shout out Detroit. You heard wifey shout out Detroit. So that's a good omen for Tony Harrison. I still think Tim's gonna win this fight, but that's a pretty good omen in Tony's favor right there. I'm not gonna lie. Ken J says Brooklyn in the house. That's what's up. Brooklyn, stand up. The most thorough of all boroughs. Let me ask my wife if she can shut the dog up in a minute. Tony Harrison with the Red Wing robe and the sequin, beautiful robe by Tony Harrison. Sometimes he's rocked that retro Detroit Pistons. Sometimes he's rocked the Barry Sanders, the Lions. So it's always Detroit for Tony Harrison. Working on that lead leaping left hook in the dressing room with Alicia Bumgarner looking on. But always the fly robes from Tony Harrison. I loved the robe last time. It was the early 2000s, late 90s Grant Hill era Detroit Pistons robe. Tonight it's the Red Wings. I know a lot of us aren't huge hockey people here in America, but the Red Wings, best dynasty of my lifetime there, with the team that won, 3, 4, or 5 titles with Sergei Fedorov and Brandon Shanahan and Steve Yzerman. Tony Harrison, I don't even know if Tony Harrison knows who those people are, but he's got the Red Wings on in the dressing room. And now the American anthem is set to be sung, or is this I think they already did the American anthem, and now it's the Australian anthem. So we shall see. Americans, the most patriotic of fans, but boxing does not work like that, says Timothy Howson. It doesn't, but I do love my wife being patriotic, you know what I'm saying? She's going to rock with the Americans. She gets to be biased, I'm not. So, here we go. Tim getting that Australian anthem sung right now. Emmanuel Tasha says, you pronounce my name well. How can I tip you? Does someone want to help Emmanuel Tasha with House Super Chat? You don't have to, Emmanuel, just because I pronounced the name right. But I mean, I would be foolish to turn down a Super Chat. I think there's a little money icon there by where it says say something, but you don't feel obligated to do that. Costa Tszyu always reminds me of the famous Zab Judah chicken dance, says Anonymous Sports PH. Good to see Anonymous in the chat again. Good to see you, man. So, here we go. All right, Jimmy Lennon. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our 12-round bout, the main event of the evening. And now, here comes Tony Harrison to the ring. The challenger tonight, the B-side, the visitor, the road warrior, trying to get back to that third Charlo fight, what would be a trilogy. Got knocked out in that rematch, but fought beautifully in that fight before getting knocked out. Had a beautiful middle portion of that fight. Launched one of the all-time verbal assaults that would have made a James Toney proud. And he wants that action for a third time. And here comes Tony Harrison to the ring. Detroit Red Wings decked out. Beautiful robe by Tony Harrison. Got the Detroit shades on. The Royce the 5'9" shades on for Tony Harrison, repping D-Town, repping Detroit. Detroit is in the building in Sydney, Australia, as the tall former super welterweight champion makes his way to the ring. Tony has competed well in every fight, even the 3 losses. He was ahead at some point in all 3 of those fights before getting stopped. Maybe that's the case tonight, or maybe he conquers his late round fading demons tonight against Tim Tszyu. The odds makers have Tszyu a fairly significant favorite. They expect Tszyu to do to Harrison what the other 3 fighters that beat him did to him, break him down later in the fight. But Tony Harrison coming to the ring, smiling, confident, turns his back, has the number 7 Harrison on the back of his robe like it's a jersey, with the sequins Red Wings on, got the red Grant gloves on with black trim, WBO patch above that right knee, and here he comes to the ring. The Detroit man himself, Tony Harrison, one of the best trash talkers in the game. Quiet Storm says Harrison fighting Tim tonight will cost him. Good to see Quiet Storm in the chat. We are at almost 2,300 people, almost 2,300 people rocking with us in the chat live for this round by round for Tim Tszyu, Tony Harrison. And we just keep building momentum, guys. You guys are awesome for keeping it going with these live round by rounds. Big Charlo watching like a father holding his children make it to the top, says Emmanuel Tasha. Yep. Tony did a good job hyping this fight, says Hagler. Great point, Hagler. He did. He didn't just show up, say it's going to be a good fight. I tried my best. I didn't come here to lose. He sold this fight. And he's went over very well in Australia. I think as long as he performs well, win or lose, he's going to walk away from this fight with a lot of Australian fans who loved his colorful personality, the media took well to him in this fight, and he took well to them as well, and took well to the Australian people. And maybe he beats Tim Tszyu and has to come back here in 4 months from now for a rematch. Maybe, the Australian people haven't seen the last of Tony Harrison tonight. But here comes the A side, here comes the favorite, 27-year-old Tim Tszyu, 21-0, 15 knockouts. Not a devastating puncher, but a good puncher, inheriting some of the heavy hands, some of the explosiveness on offense from his dad, Costa Tszyu, the former great, all-time great 140-pounder. And Tim Tszyu coming to the ring calm and confident, looking, slight smile on his face, and looks business, looks mean and ready to fight. A little bit of shuffling in his feet, banging his gloves together a little bit. Very confident and ready to fight is Tim Tszyu. Very hydrated and healthy in his rehydration. Looks strong in the neck, in the chin, and looks ready to go. Looks ready to fight. At 27 years old, does Tim Tszyu. Almost 2,500 people in the chat now. This is just awesome. Can't wait to call this action right down the middle. We do it old school radio style, like it was Joe Louis and Ezra Charles, or Rocky Marciano and Archie Moore getting it in, with Don Dunphy on the call. So, Tszyu just about to be visible to the arena, and it is sold out there in Sydney. Some fireworks in the arena, some blowtorches going off, and now they're showing a montage of Tim Tszyu when he was just a little boy alongside his famous dad, Kostya Tszyu. And a big moment here for Tim Tszyu. And again, and I said this before the fight, a blessing in disguise tonight for Tim Tszyu. He was not, in my opinion, sometimes Charlo does need 2 fights to get it right, like he did against Castano or Harrison. But in my opinion, despite the Terrell Goucher fight, that wasn't enough seasoning. Kind of like Ryan Garcia, in my opinion, isn't seasoned enough for Tank Davis next month. Tim Tszyu wasn't seasoned enough for his January 28th assignment originally against Jermell Charlo here in Vegas. Instead, going back home to Australia and fighting Tony Harrison, this is the perfect kind of experience and step up and in-between fight before getting to Undisputed for Charlo that's actually going to give Tim a better chance of pulling it off against Jermell Charlo when they do fight. I think Tim was going to be not seasoned enough and was going to get stopped against Jermell January 28th. This fight was a blessing in disguise for him as he gets ready to make his way to the ring now, because it gives him the experience and the seasoning he'll need tonight. If he can prevail, that'll give him a better chance at actually beating Charlo when they face each other. He wasn't going to be ready in January. If he can get past Tony Harrison tonight, he'll be a hell of a lot more ready than he would have been. So a blessing in disguise, in my opinion, for Tim Tszyu tonight. Now Tim is visible to the arena, and they're, the overseas, they do these big dramatic ring walks. Here in America, we play the music and they come to the ring, and that's the energy. Tim Tszyu standing on a platform, getting treated like the superstar tonight. The pressure is on him. Tony Harrison had his music play, and he walked to the ring. Tim Tszyu gets the pyro, gets the fireworks, gets his name in flames on fire. Tszyu spelled out for the whole crowd to see, has to begin his entrance on a platform. And all the fireworks and all the production value for Tim Tszyu, which increases the pressure on him. But he looks happy, jogging his way to the ring, dapping up some of the people with his gloves on the way to the ring. And here comes Tim Tszyu fighting at home. The pressure's on. The pressure's on him. Yeah, Tony Harrison wants that trilogy, that rubber match with Jermell Charlo, but the pressure is on the hometown fighter tonight, Tim Tszyu. And both fighters are in the ring now. Tim Tszyu wearing blue trunks with blue gloves. Tony Harrison with that Detroit Red Wings red gloves, red trunks. Tim Tszyu with Everlast, what are those? The Everlast MX gloves, the puncher's gloves. Tony Harrison with Grant. Tony Harrison, 32 years old, 6'1", 5.5 inches of reach for Tony Harrison, and also 4 inches of height for Tony Harrison. Tim Tszyu, 5'9", a short, stout fighter. Kind of like we'll see with Tank Davis against Ryan Garcia. Not tall for the weight at all, but sturdy, very sturdy at the weight is Tim Tszyu. So Tony with height, experience, hand speed, better jab, and height and reach in his advantage. Tim Tszyu with youth, intelligent aggression, great body attack, underrated explosiveness and punching power for Tim. Not underrated punching power, but underrated quickness on how that power is delivered. We'll see who gets the job done tonight. WBO world title in the ring tonight. It's not the full title, it's the interim title. Of course, Jermell Charlo is the full champion. And we might get 3,000 people in the chat, man. We got almost 3,000 people in. So forget 2,000. Let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it going. Press the like if you're enjoying the commentary once it actually starts. Once we get started here, once these ring introductions are wrapped up. So going thrice. Let's see. Jonathan Gorman saying, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Come on, Tim. You got this, mate. Fuzzbuzz saying, who do you got, Fury or Usyk? Fury. Here we go. How do we watch it? The fight is on Showtime right now. If you guys have Showtime, go to ShowtimeAnytime.com to stream it on your computer, or go to Showtime on your cable if you have Showtime on your cable, as Jimmy Lennon is set for these fighter introductions. Both fighters in the ring now. Tim Tszyu, Tony Harrison. Here we go. Getting introduced first, of course, will be the former WBC champ, Tony Harrison, beating his chest. Tony does look thin in there. 29 wins, 3 losses, the 1 draw with 21 knockouts for Tony Harrison, former WBC super welterweight champion. Even throws a high kick and now extends the bow and arrows at Tim Tszyu, taking aim, putting Tim Tszyu in his sights. robe getting dressed down now, and Tony Harrison set to take off that headband and those famous Detroit shades. People in Detroit, let me know what those Detroit shades are called again. What are they called? You got set to take off the Royce the 5'9" Detroit shades. And Tony says he has a big head, and that big head is unveiled now as that headband gets taken off. And now the pyro starts for Tim Tszyu's introduction. Jed Kurz saying Tony Liver's about to quiver. Duncan Ingalls says, I'm the same age as Costa Tszyu. When his boys were born in Sydney, I smiled. Here we go. Now Tim Tszyu getting introduced. Shadow boxing a little bit. Now he keeps the high guard up as he's getting introduced. Drops those hands. Gets his bounce going in the corner. And now Tim begins to take in some of the nerves. Shoe shines a little bit. And now I see Tim taking in a little bit of the nerves. He is human. And I see him taking in just a little bit of the nerves now. Now shit's about to get real. I see a little bit of nervousness from Tim Tszyu. It's not a bad thing. Just got to keep it in check. And we're about to hit 3,000. Let's keep it going. About to hit 3,000 live for this round-by-round main event time. Here we go. Tszyu's ring introduction just about finished up, and we are set for fight time, baby. This is the fun part. Here we go. Cartier C Decor glasses. Thank you, Wilsam Bamad. Thank you, brother. They're called buffs. Oh, buffs. That's what you guys, it's my fault. Buffs, that's right. Thank you, chat. Thank you, Detroit. We're over 3,000. Let's go. Over 3,000. Let's get it. Emmanuel Tasha, who do you take? Got Ryan or Tank? Tank. But it's time for Tim Tszyu and Tony Harrison. All right, Tony taking a look at Tim's chest. They touch gloves, center of the ring, and now it is time for fight time. Woof! Excited. I feel the energy in the chat. Just got a text from my man David Benavidez saying, I'll see you there, brother. We'll see David Benavidez Tuesday in Seattle, or what was it, Burien. Here we go, round one, and both fighters in the center of the ring. Tony Harrison with that left hand low. Tim Tszyu with both hands held high. Here we go in the center of the ring. Tony starting with the jab, falls short. Tony touching a little bit with the lead. Maybe looking to set up a lead left hook like he was working on in the dressing room. Tim Tszyu with the high guard, inching towards Tony. Tony not giving ground. Nice jab to the body by Tony Harrison in the center of the ring. Tony with that left hand low. Touching up top. Now he shoots the jab. Tim catching the jab on the high guard. Tim slightly moving Tony back now, nearer the corner, near the ropes. Tony taking little half steps back. Tim beginning that pressure. Double jab for Tony. Tim catching it with the right glove. Tim getting Tony near the ropes, shoots his first jab. Tony gets away from it. Tony still standing in front of Tim with that left hand low. Shoots the jab up top. Tim catches it. Tim trying to apply that pressure in the first. Nice jab to the body by Tony Harrison, trying to establish range. Tony not using excessive movement, just stepping over to his left, taking little baby steps back as Tim is coming forward. Tim not getting off yet. Nice jab by Tony, keeps his distance. Back touches the rope for the first time, but he gets his back off the ropes and gets back in the center of the ring. Uses the jab again. Tony stepping to his right. Tim Tszyu in that high guard. Tim missing with a left hook, trying to time Tony as Tony used his jab. Tony near the ropes, halfway through the first. Tony near the ropes, but counters Tim's jab with his own jab. Tony with the better jab in round one so far. Tony with that left hand low, back near the ropes. Shoots that up jab. Tim catches it. Tim trying to close distance. But Tony establishing his jab decent right now. Jab and the right, sets up a right hand for Tony, but Tim caught it. Now another up jab from Tony from that hip. Tim starts with a jab to the body. And Tim will have to jab here. Nice jab by Tony Harrison, and then he gets away from the straight right hand with good defense and that shoulder roll out of Detroit. That jab got in clean there for Harrison. Tszyu hitting the shoulder with a left hook, straight right hand. Tony just making a miss by an inch that time. Now Tony starts with a jab to the body. Gets more in the center of the ring and more away from the ropes does Tony. Tony shoots the jab up top again. Tim catching it, but it splits the guard a little bit. Now Tim lands his first jab. Good jab by Tim. Misses the hook off the jab. Center of the ring for both fighters. Tim jabbing down low. Jabbing to the mid-stomach. Nice jab up top for Harrison. Another nice jab from Harrison up top. Knocks the head back of Tszyu. Tszyu late with the right hand counter over the top of that jab. Good first round for Tony Harrison. 15 seconds left. Double jab. Second jab lands for Harrison. Harrison not expending too much energy, not using excessive lateral movement, just stepping aside. Another jab lands for Harrison. Tim this time landing that right hand after the jab a little bit on the top of the head, but nice round. That's it for round 1. 10-9 Tony Harrison with that sharp jab coming up from the hip. Tony, like those Detroit fighters, Michigan fighters, a little bit of the shoulder roll, but not excessive movement. Keeping that right hand up, left hand low, shooting the jab, placed it to the body a couple times. And Tim not really able to get off. That jab, that superior jab of Tony, carrying the day in round 1. 10-9 Harrison, and we got almost 3,500 people in the chat now. This is great. Nice left hook. Actually, this is why slow-mo is good. Tim did actually land that left hook right hand on Tony Harrison. In real time, it looked like Tony rolled the shot, but on the slow-mo, Tim Tszyu did land that left hook right hand. So forgive me, chat. In real time, it looked like Tony rolled the shot, but it was actually landed that two-piece for Tim Tszyu. I still thought Tony got the better of the round getting off first with his jab, but those shots did get in on the slow-mo. Here we go in round 2 now. Center of the ring, Tim Tszyu keeping those hands up. Very disciplined in that high guard. Jab getting in for Tony early on. Another jab for Tony, but this one's blocked. Tim trying to cut that distance. Tony using the jab again and then tries to get into the chest of Tim to create room, but he eats a left hook on the inside there by Tim when he tried to close the gap and stop the forward momentum of Tszyu. Tszyu on the front foot. Tony near the ropes. Jab to the body by Tony. Jab up top lands for Tony, but not keeping Tim off. Tim is, he's establishing distance, but Tim not taking a step back. Short left hook for Tim when Tony tried to, smother Tim and get him off of him to get back into the center of the ring. Tim twice now has clipped him with a left hook when Tony has tried to do that and put his shoulder into his chest and establish some distance by pushing him back. Up jab. First one blocked, but second one lands for Tony, but Tim comes back with a power jab and knocks Tony's head up. Good jab by Tim. Tim with a solid first minute in this round. Lead left hook lands for Tim now. Led with the hook that time, and it got on the top of that big head of Tony Harrison. Now Tim getting his jab to the body blocked. Tony with the jab up top, 2 jabs up top. Tim catching it with that right glove, staying on top of Harrison. Harrison not using that excessive movement, but his back is near the ropes. Chopping right hand lands for Tim Tszyu. As they traded jabs, Tim came with the chopping right hand behind the jab and landed it on the top of Tony's head. Halfway through the round, nice right hand lands for Tony Harrison. The jab set it up, straight right hand. Tim just a little bit off with his left hand counter. Now Tim leads with the left hook, touches Tony a little bit, but Tony got the right hand up to block it. Tony jabbing to Tim's chest. Tim jabbing back to Tony's chest in the center of the ring. Over a minute left in the round. Nice jab lands for Tony and another jab in the center of the ring. Tim trying to cut the distance in the high guard. Tony taking steps back, shoots a straight right hand to the body, and Tim just off with a right uppercut counter. Good timing on the counters by Tim, but just a little bit off at times. 50 seconds left in the second. Good timing on the counters by Tszyu, but a little short. Nice jab, double jab lands for Tony Harrison. Nice double jab. Tim, poker face, coming forward, jabs to the chest. Chopping right hand lands, and this left hook gets smothered, though, by Harrison. Lead left hook lands for Tim Tszyu, but Tony able to block the right-handed left hook after that and catch the shots along the ropes. Lead left hook lands for Tszyu again, though. Short left hook beginning to land for Tim Tszyu in between Tony's punches. 20 seconds left in the second. Tim jabbing to the chest of Harrison. Missing with the chopping right hand. Tony comes back up with the jab. 15 seconds left. Up jab gets caught by Tim this time, catching it with the right glove. Nice jab lands for Tony Harrison, sets up a right hand. Tim Tszyu with a counter left hook back. Tim landing a jab near the bell. Good competitive round. I gave that round to Tszyu. Began to land some of his power shots. Began to land a couple of those short left hooks in between Tony's punches. Tony, though, sniped him with a couple of nice sharp right hands and did land his jab. It was a competitive round. Some swelling around the left eye of Tim Tszyu. I wouldn't hate a 2-0 scorecard for Tony, but I got it 19-19. Let's take a look at the replay. Yeah, actually, that right uppercut did land by Tim Tszyu. Tony Harrison reached down with a straight right to the body, but couldn't get his chin out of the way in time. Tried to pull out, and that right uppercut counter landed for Tim Tszyu. Nice jab, double jab landing on the slow-mo for Tony Harrison, though, on another replay here. 1 round to 1, 19-19 on my card right now on FightHype. And everyone in the chat seems to have it 19-19 too. Joey Jones saying Tim Tszyu won't make it to the 8th round. Here we go. Almost 4,000 people in the chat now. Let's keep it going, people. Get your brothers and sisters in this one. Round 3. Here comes Tim Tszyu in the high guard. Tony Harrison trying to jab through that high guard to start round 3. Tim Tszyu backing Harrison up. Harrison taking little half steps back. Catches the left hook of Tszyu and tries to put that jab in. But Tszyu catching it on the guard to start round 3. Tszyu getting Harrison near the ropes, but Harrison looking to set something up. Harrison feinting, shoots his jab, gets away from the lead left hook of Tszyu. Tszyu backing Harrison along the ropes, tries to pin him there with the lead hand, but Harrison gets his shoulder into the chest of him and backs him off to get back into the center of the ring. Good jab to the body by Tszyu, but he eats a counter left hand up top that knocks some of the sweat off. And a little bit of swelling around that left eye of Tim Tszyu. He misses the lead left hook, but Tony doesn't get away from the sweeping right hand after it, and another touch right hand knocks Tony a little off balance. Tony, 20 jabs landed to just 8 by Tim Tszyu so far in the fight. Lead left hook lands for Tszyu. He eats a jab while landing it, and Tony partially blocked it. Tim beginning to get through a little bit in the center of the ring with some power shots. Tony setting up a jab to the body, jab up top, gets underneath a straight right hand, the left hook by Tim Tszyu. Just off with a counter left hook was Tony Harrison there in the center of the ring. High level stuff in this fight right now by both fighters. Both fighters in the center of the ring. Tony getting away from a lead left hook, comes back up with 2 sharp jabs that land on Tim Tszyu in the center of the ring. Halfway through the third, anybody's round. Tony pulling away from a straight right hand, making Tszyu miss. Now Tszyu steps in and lands that jab and blocks the jab back by Tony Harrison. Tony putting in 2 jabs. That first one split the guard. Tszyu is got that little mouse under his left eye. Harrison continuing to establish range with his jab. Now a lead left hook. Oh, but a chopping right hand. Harrison is hurt. Harrison is hurt. Good timing on the counter punch by Tim Tszyu. Harrison along the ropes, covering up. Right hand to the body by Tim Tszyu. Harrison may be recovering, but he was hurt. Tim Tszyu caught the counter, caught the left hook, the lead left hook, and he sweeped his right hand, and he hurt Tony Harrison with timing the counter with the sweeping right hand over the top. Beautiful stuff by Tim Tszyu. Little over 30 seconds left. Tszyu not able to find the mark. Right hand lands for Tony Harrison, but Tim Tszyu staying on top of him. Harrison, 30 seconds left in the round with his back on the ropes. Looks like he may be recovering. Tszyu not able to find the accuracy after hurting him with that right hand. Tony still along the ropes. Alert, lands his jab. Just off with an uppercut is Tim Tszyu, the left uppercut. Thinks about shooting the right uppercut. Chopping right hand over the top lands for Tim Tszyu. Set it up off the touch jab. 10 seconds. Oh, a right hand over the top again for Tim Tszyu. Set up by a jab to the body. Now a left hook lands for Tszyu in close. Harrison exchanging at the bell. Trying to fight Tszyu off of him, but that was a big Tim Tszyu round. 29-28 Tim Tszyu. That again, now Tony tried to catch Tim Tszyu with a lead left hook. Tim got that hand up to block it, and then came over the top with like a chopping right, not a chopping right hand, but a looping right hand. Almost threw it Golovkin style, and he nailed Tony Harrison, and Tony was hurt into the corner. Tszyu wasn't as accurate as he probably wanted to be. Yep, catching that left hook, and then coming back with a counter right hand over the top. Beautiful. I told you guys that Tszyu's counters had very good timing, even though he was a little bit off earlier in the fight, but he found the range that time and hurt Tony Harrison for the first time in this fight. 29-28 Tim Tszyu. 4,300 people. Duncan Inglis says, great commentary, mate. I'm on my feet. Oh, they're getting a little blackout on the show. Okay, here we go. We're good. Yep. 29-28, 2 rounds to 1 for Tszyu through 3. Here we go. Round 4. Harrison starting with a jab to the body. Good jab to the body by Harrison to start. Harrison getting his jab up top blocked. Taking little half steps back. Double jab sets up a straight right hand to the body for Harrison. Now Tszyu shoots his jab. Tries to split the guard of Tony. Tony beginning to pick that left hand up at times a little bit now after getting countered by that right hand over that low left. Harrison near the ropes, feeling a little bit of the anxiety now of the pressure of this young bull. Knows he has to be highly alert. Nice jab by Harrison to keep Tim Tszyu at range. while he's at bay, while he's on the ropes. Another jab lands for Harrison to create a little distance. Tszyu being patient. Jab to the body by Tim Tszyu. Tszyu being patient and staying on top of Tony Harrison. Tony's back on the ropes more than it was earlier in the fight now. Nice jab by Tony, though. He feinted and then shot that up jab nicely. Created distance for himself to move out to his left. Tszyu getting Tony along the ropes, but Tony fighting well off the ropes early on with his jab. Keeping Tszyu at bay right now with his jab. And not using get-off-me punches. Not wasting energy with get-off-me punches or with excessive movement. Oh, chopping right hand over the top. Lands for Tszyu when Tony tried to cut the distance to keep him off the ropes. Got hit with a right hand there on the top of the head. But Tony still dictating well with his jab here in the fourth. Halfway through it, Tony could win this round if he can keep it up. Tszyu off with a counter left uppercut trying to time the jab of Harrison. Harrison back along the ropes a lot more now. Oh, right hand lands for Tim Tszyu. Kind of a right uppercut after touching and keeping Tony in place with the jab. Jab lands for Tszyu now with Tony along the ropes. That knocked Tony's head up a little bit. Power punches, 24 landed for Tim Tszyu to just 6 for Tony Harrison. CompuBox has Tony Harrison only attempting 11 power punches, but the jab has been money. Now he lands 2 jabs. Minute left in the fourth. Left hook to the body finally opens up for Tim Tszyu. He lands that hook to the body. Touch straight right hand. A 1-2 lands for Tszyu with Tony along the ropes, but Tony getting his hands up to block it a little bit, and he snipes with that jab. Tony has landed the jab. He feints and lands the jab again and makes Tszyu miss the right hand along the ropes. A little over 30 seconds left. Anybody's round. Tszyu has stalked him and has touched him with a couple of power shots, but the best punch of the round has been Harrison's jab. 2, 3 jabs by Harrison just to keep Tszyu off of him. Now he touches him again with a jab. Steps off to his left. Steps off to his right. 20 seconds left in the round. Tszyu not following up the third with a big round in the fourth. Maybe this round got away from him. He did touch Harrison with some power shots as well, though. Will Harrison win? Oh, they trade left hooks, and Harrison got his hand up to block it and landed his own. I gave that round to Tony Harrison. Got this even, 38-38. Harrison's body language wasn't the greatest, but he steadied himself as it went on, and he fought behind his jab. Good job by Tony Harrison in round 4, not panicking, keeping his composure, landing his jab, and not wasting energy, not throwing get-off-me punches, not getting up on his bike. And on the slow-mo replay, it's a little bit of a clubbing right hand in a skirmish that you didn't get full extension on it there, did Tim. Tim with a sweeping right hand with Tony along the ropes, but Tony with 2 jabs. Nice power jab landing for Tim Tszyu with Tony along the ropes and a left hook. So the replays are showing Tim Tszyu, but I did feel Tony was more consistent that round. Did control range a little bit with his jab, landed his jab quite a bit. That's a round in Australia that maybe went to Tim Tszyu. I scored it for Tony. I got it 38-38. I could see Tim up 3-1, but I got it 38-38. We got almost 5,000 people in the chat now. Tony feinting and shoots the jab up to start round 5. Tony's back near the ropes again. Tim Tszyu with that left hook to the body gets underneath that right elbow of Tony Harrison. That's the first time that left hook to the body's really landed for Tim Tszyu. We expected that to play more of a role, and it hasn't yet. Nice jab lands for Tim Tszyu, and that knocked the head up of Tony Harrison along the ropes. Tony able to get away from the right hand of the left hook, but that jab knocked his head up along the ropes. Tony with a little touch left hook, but Tim is on top of him. Left hook to the body by Tim, but he eats a right uppercut up top by Tony Harrison. But Tim beginning to get closer and pinning Tony along the ropes now. Left hook up top for Tim, misses the right hand. Tony getting, nice left hook, knocks the sweat off of Tim Tszyu's head with Tony along the ropes. Tim coming back with a right uppercut now up top. Tim making it the kind of fight he wants now. Tony is slowing down a little bit with his... Can't keep Tim off of him, but now Tony is fighting more. Right uppercut sets up a left hook to the body for Tony Harrison. Left hook to the body off for Tim Tszyu. Right uppercut lands short on the inside for Tony Harrison with Tim walking right through it, but that right uppercut knocked him. Not straight right hand lands for Tim Tszyu, and that knocks Tony Harrison's head up. Tony in the corner, and Tim got in a left hook to the body after that straight right hand that knocked his head up. Left hook to the body lands for Tszyu again with Tony along the ropes. Tony landing a nice jab along the ropes. Touching with a right uppercut. Nice jab to the body again for Tony Harrison along the ropes. Halfway through the 5th. Competitive round. Harrison off with a right hand along the ropes. Tried to shoot a big right hand. Now he lands a jab. Tszyu trying to land that straight right hand after landing the jab. Throws another 1-2, but Tony Harrison with solid defense moves his chin just a little bit off the line. Counter right uppercut from Tim Tszyu, actually pulling off the right hand that Tony was trying to hit him with. He pulled away from it and had a nice counter right uppercut there to Tim Tszyu. To my eyes, it's competitive here in the 5th. They trade left hooks, and I think Tony's got in a little cleaner there, but Tim got him on the top of the head with his own. Tim missing with the right hand over the top after landing the jab. 40 seconds left in the 5th. To my eyes, Tim's power shots are a little more accurate. Tony is out jabbing him, but the judges will give the edge to the guy landing more power shots, and Tim is landing a little bit more power shots right now in the 5th. I got him winning the 5th round right now, but it's been competitive. 1-2 lands for Tim Tszyu, and then a left hook to the body after that. That 1-2 set up a beautiful left hook to the body with about 25 seconds left. Harrison feinting, maybe shoots the jab up top, but Tszyu not eating that jab as much. Oh, but then that right hand lands for Tony Harrison, and it knocked the sweat right off of Tim's head. Tim was waiting on that right hand, but Tony feinted and timed it up nice anyways. Competitive, high-level fight in the 5th. Competitive round, man. I gave the edge to Tszyu. I got it 3-2 for Tim Tszyu. I think he's landing a little bit more of the power shots. Tony's definitely out-jabbed, and a little bit of swelling around the right eye of Tony Harrison and a little mouse below the left eye of Tim Tszyu. High-level action. Let's look at the slow-mos here. Straight right hand knocking the head up of Tony Harrison. Left hook to the body for Tszyu right after that straight right hand. Straight right hand on that same replay knocked the head up of Tony Harrison. Yep. And those are the eye-catching shots. Tim Tszyu's head, even when the sweat is getting knocked off of Tim Tszyu like the right hand did in the last 15 seconds, Tim Tszyu's chin isn't moving. His shock absorber, his neck and his chin takes it well. And so, but when Tony gets hit, he knocks his head up, and that's eye-catching to the judges. Over 5,000 people in the chat now. And Woody Harrelson saying most racist commentary he's ever heard. Chat, check Woody Harrelson. Tell him this is right down the middle. 3-2, Tim Harrison on the FightHype card. Tony Harrison boxing very well. Tim Tszyu just a little ahead on my card. Jab to the body for Tim Tszyu after Tony pelting him with the jab up top. Tim Tszyu continues to make... Oh, they trade left hooks. Both guys landing their left hook there as they trade it. Jab lands for Tim Tszyu, keeping Tony along the ropes now. Tony trying to walk Tim into something. Steps off to his left. Steps back to his right. Gets his back a little bit off the ropes now. Tony shooting that jab and Tim catching it. Nice right hand. Lands for Tony Harrison off that jab to set it up. Nice straight right hand. Landed on the top of Tim Tszyu's head. They trade. Oh, nice jab to the body by Tszyu, but he ate a jab up top, but then he came back with a left hook up top. Oh, straight right hand lands for Tony Harrison in the middle of the ring beautifully, but then a left hook back by Tim Tszyu once he gets Harrison back to the ropes. Now a straight right hand lands for Harrison, or for Tim Tszyu. Harrison coming back with a beautiful up jab. 1 minute 50 left in the 6th. Harrison a little ahead in this round, but Tszyu has landed some hard shots too in this round. Jab to the body by Tszyu, but he misses the right hand up top. Jab lands for Tony. Double jab. He steps off to his left. Halfway through the 6th. Harrison, slick along the rope, shoots his jab. That long jab. Shoots a straight right hand, and this time Tszyu getting his hand up to block it. Tszyu showing a good chin tonight and good aggression, but he's eating some shots. Good jab lands for Harrison again. Tony getting off first with the jab and the hand speed. Straight right hand misses for Harrison, but he makes Tszyu fall short with the left hook counter. Little over a minute in the round. Jab to the body for Tim Tszyu. Harrison moving well, left to right, not wasting energy. Just moving enough to create distance. Double jab set up by Harrison. That second jab land beautifully. Tszyu with a little touch left hook to the body. Tony talking to Tim Tszyu. Mouthing something to him with 50 seconds left in the round. Straight right hand falls short for Tim Tszyu. That jab landing for Tony. Tony with a nice last minute of this round right now. Another jab lands for Tony. Tim touching him with a straight right hand, but had to take some power off of it. Tony almost walked Tim into a beautiful right hand. Tim better be careful. Nice left hook to the body by Tim Tszyu with Tony along the ropes. Tony countering with a right hand, but he eats a sweeping right hand along the ropes too. Close round, 20 seconds left. Tony shoots a right hand over the top of Tszyu's jab off the ropes. Nice right hand by Harrison there. In the clinch, Harrison fires a right uppercut. Tszyu digging down to the body. 10 seconds left. Harrison lands a right hand after springing off the ropes with a jab. Catches the left hook of Tszyu. Tszyu trying to get underneath with his shots there. Double jab by Harrison, and that's Harrison's round on my card. Where's Woody Harrelson at? Woody Harrelson, I gave that round to Tony Harrison. It's 57-57. And I'm not calling it even just to make you happy either. But 57-57. Man. Maybe if it's 4-2 either way, it's Tszyu. Especially at home. But my card has it even after 6. If anyone's ahead 58-56, it's Tszyu. He's hurt Harrison in the third. CompuBox has him landing more power shots, although Harrison is easily out jabbing him tonight. So it's anyone's fight halfway through. On the slow-mo replay, they trade jabs, and Tony's got in better. Knocked the sweat off of Tim Tszyu. Here on another slow-mo replay, they trade jabs, and then Tony getting underneath of that right hand after they trade jabs. So the replay's favoring Tony in the 6th, and that's why I gave him the round. 3 rounds to 3. All even on my card. Good fight right now. High-level fight. Good action, good chess. Round 7, halfway through the fight now. Tim Tszyu shooting a jab to the body, but he eats a jab up top. Gets countered by a jab up top to start. Tszyu staying forward. Harrison touching him with a little left hook there. And now Tszyu landing a nice left hook to the body with Harrison along the ropes. Harrison has made him pay when he reaches to the body, though. Harrison along the ropes has fought very composed with his back touching the ropes as often as it has. Straight right hand to the body by Tim Tszyu, though, with Harrison along the ropes. Steve Farhood has this fight 5-1 for Tim Tszyu. And I understand why Steve has that. Tim's landing the harder shots, and he's on the front foot. But I have it even. If I could definitely see it 4-2 for Tim Tszyu. I think 5-1's a little wide. Jab to the body by Tszyu, but then he gets countered by that jab up top again. Blocks the 1-2 by Harrison. Touches Harrison with 2 left hooks up top, but just touch shots. Oh, nice left hook counter by Harrison as Tszyu tried to chop him with a right hand with Harrison along ropes, and he checked him with a nice hook. So Harrison, to my eyes, doing a little bit better than Showtime's giving him credit for. Over a minute in the 7th, and Harrison, to me, is winning this round a little bit. Even though he's continuing to be pinned along the ropes, he is touching Tszyu as Tszyu walks his way in. And Tszyu not as accurate as he wants to be just yet. Halfway through the 7th, competitive 7th round. Nice left hook to the body by Tim Tszyu. Used that right uppercut to set it up top. Power punches landed 63 for Tim Tszyu to just 20 for Tony Harrison. So the CompuBox numbers and Showtime don't see it quite as competitive as I do. Straight right hand lands for Tim Tszyu with Tony along the ropes. Tony back is almost against the ropes all 3 minutes of the round right now, but he is staying composed and fighting off those ropes well. Jab up top for Harrison, another jab up top. Tszyu composed, keeping that poker face. Jab to the body by Harrison, but Tszyu stays right on top of him. 45 seconds left in the round. Nice touch left hook by Tony Harrison, again, with his back along the ropes, knocking some of the sweat off of Tszyu's head. That doesn't get the judge's attention, maybe, because it doesn't knock Tszyu back. Now a right hand lands for Tszyu, letting his hands go in combinations, and he knocks the head up of Tony Harrison with a short inside left hook with that combination. And again, that could be the big difference for Harrison here as well. He can't really knock the head up of Tszyu, and when the right hand over the top, but Tszyu rolled with it and caught some of it on the top of the head. 10 seconds left. Jab to the body lands for Tony Harrison. Tszyu staying on top of Harrison with very good intelligent pressure. And again, maybe Harrison doesn't get credit for that round, but to my round, he touched Tim Tszyu up while Tim was coming forward. But the problem is when Harrison gets touched, his head gets knocked up. He's constantly along the ropes and his body language looks uncomfortable. So to my eyes, it's a more competitive fight than CompuBox and Showtime has it. But I do have Tszyu up 67-66 through 7. Straight right hand knocked the head up of Tony Harrison on the replay. And that little combination in close knock the head around of Tony Harrison, and that gets the judges' attention. So I got a 67-66 Tim Tszyu right now through 7. Man, 5,500 people in the chat. This is awesome. So here we go, into round 8, and this is around the time where things start to get ugly for Tony Harrison. Tim Tszyu's face and Tony's right eye beginning to swell up a little bit more and more, whereas that left mouse under Tim's left eye hasn't really gotten worse. It's actually gotten a little bit better since earlier in the fight. So showing that he's getting away from some of these shots of Tony Harrison now. Here we are in the 8th. Tony's back, continues to touch the ropes, but not throwing get off me punches, still fighting. Oh, jab knocks the head up of Harrison, though. Right hand lands for Tim Tszyu with Tony along the ropes. That was a straight right hand. Ooh, just off with a right uppercut was Tim Tszyu. Nice jab lands for Harrison to keep Tszyu at bay, but Tszyu maybe starting to smell momentum now. Harrison back still along the ropes. Left hook lands for Tim Tszyu a little bit. Tony getting that right glove up, but it got on the top of the head a little bit there. Tony's body language beginning to weaken in the 8th. Chopping right hand lands for Tszyu, but he gets countered by a straight right hand too that knocks the sweat up. Both fighters landing that right hand there. Tony not going quietly into the night. Nice jab to the body by Tony Harrison with just a minute into the 8th. 2 minutes left in the round. Harrison near the corner. Looking a little more fatigued now. Straight right hand sets up a hard left hook to the body for Tim Tszyu. Harrison along the ropes. Right hand over the top. Touching Harrison. Left hook to the body lands for Tim Tszyu again. If the right uppercut begins to show up now, it could be trouble for Harrison. Harrison touching on the inside, but doesn't have the power of Tim Tszyu to keep him off. Another left hook to the body for Tim Tszyu on the inside. Harrison trying to fight on the inside with a right hand, but getting smothered. Showtime has it 6-1. Chopping right hand on the inside for Tim Tszyu. Right uppercut with Tony Harrison along the ropes. Tszyu maybe smelling blood. Right uppercut lands for Tony Harrison. Chopping right hand for Harrison, but Tszyu is walking right through it and delivers a right uppercut with Harrison along the ropes. Tszyu is beginning to walk physically through Harrison now, just walking through him in the 8th. Harrison along the ropes, in the phone booth, in the range that Tszyu has wanted all along. 1 minute left in the 8th. Tszyu has rarely landed that left hook to the body this round. Tszyu landing a right hand in close. Harrison fighting in the phone booth. Lands a little left hook. Pushes Tszyu off of him. Hits him with a right hand in close. Tries to hit him with a left hook in close. Tszyu landing his own right hand in close. They're leaning on each other. Harrison's back near the ropes. Tszyu smothering him. Touches him with a left hook to the body. Harrison trying to turn him off the ropes, but Tszyu, intelligent pressure, keeps him pinned on the ropes. Decent defense on the inside by Tszyu. Now a jab lands for Harrison, but getting away from the power shots. Oh, Tony's legs don't look good. He almost slips. Tony looking down at the ground now, beginning to fatigue. And now Tony gets a much-needed breather as the referee is going to clean up the wet spot in the ring. Tony getting a much-needed breather here. Almost 6,000 people in the chat here in the 8th round. 18 seconds left as the action is halted. Tim Tszyu on his way to winning this round and going up 77-75 on the official FightHype live card. He's up by a wider margin on Showtime. I got it closer than they got it. But he has all the momentum right now, does Tim Tszyu. Tony Harrison beginning to look like he's breaking down. They resume the action. Jab blocked by Tszyu. 10 seconds left in the round. Harrison missing with his jab, falling short with it now. Not as accurate as he was earlier in the fight. 8th round coming to a close. Harrison finishing off with his jab, but not as accurate as before. And the body language not great of Tony Harrison now as he goes back to the round after the 8th. 5-3 for Tim Tszyu, 77-75. And Tim Tszyu with the momentum right now heading into round 9. Almost 6,000 people in the chat now. This is great. Man, the Aussies are starting to feel hot in the chat now. My man Milton Doby, good to see you in the chat. Milton Doby's got it a little wider than me. 6-2 for Tszyu. I could see 6-2 for Tszyu. I got it 5-3 for Tszyu. Lee P saying Harrison is done. We'll see. Does Harrison have something in him? It's not looking likely right now. He hasn't been, his stamina is leaving him, and if he wasn't able to hurt Tim earlier in the fight when he was fresh, I don't know if he'll be able to hurt him now, but Tim has got to stay alert. Tim does look fresher than Tony, and Tim has been getting hit less as the fight has progressed. Here we go in round 9. And the referee again giving Tony a little extra time as he cleans the water in there. Gustavo Fontalba, good to have you in the chat, my man. Round 9, here we go. Tim Tszyu with the momentum. Maybe closing in on Harrison. Harrison maybe in danger of being stopped in the second half of a fight once again, but we'll see. Harrison back along the ropes again. Oh, big jab knocks the head up of Tony Harrison. Beautiful timing on that jab by Tim Tszyu. And Tony, now they're trading jabs, and now Tim Tszyu, who was getting out-jabbed earlier, is beginning to out-jab Tony Harrison with the better timing and more power on it. Oh, another jab knocks back Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison says good shit and beats his chest. Fight getting away from Harrison now in the 9th. Tszyu beginning to hurt him with his jab after getting out-jabbed all night. Not a good sign for Harrison. Harrison landing a jab to the body, but missing his jab up top in the center of the ring. Tszyu falling short with his power jab. Tszyu throwing his jab with power, not touching with it at all. 2 minutes left in the 9th. Tszyu with the momentum, winning this round, has knocked Harrison's head up a couple of times with a powerful jab. Blocking the jab of Harrison in the middle of the ring now is Tszyu. Tszyu missing with a lead left hook. In the center of the ring, Harrison dipping underneath. Now a chopping right hand lands on the side of Harrison's head. Now Harrison lands a jab, splits the guard, the high guard of Tim Tszyu in the center of the ring. Harrison not along the rope. Oh, right hand lands for Tim Tszyu, but Harrison coming back with his own right hand counter. Now 2 jabs from Harrison in the center of the ring. Harrison not giving up. Harrison with another jab in the center of the ring. Blocking the lead left hook. 88 power shots to just 29 for Tim Tszyu. An advantage by CompuBox right now. Little over a minute left in the 9th. Oh, counter jab lands for Tim Tszyu. Got his head off the line. And now a chopping right hand lands in the center of the ring that knocks the sweat off of Tony's head. Another right hand lands. Harrison is hurt. Right hand to the body. Sweeping right hands up top. Harrison is hurt. Harrison is hurt and not defending himself that well right now. Left hook lands. Harrison hurt badly along the ropes. Sweeping right hand lands for Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu going for the finish. Right uppercuts. Right uppercuts. That's Tim Tszyu's shot. The right uppercut. Harrison is hurt. Harrison is down. Harrison is down. Right uppercuts and then a left hook sends him to the canvas. It looks like Harrison is done. Harrison still on the canvas. Doesn't know where he is. In danger of being counted out. He's up at 9. But he looks very bad. He looks done. His legs are gone. The referee might want to stop this. And he does. It's a 9th round TKO for Tim Tszyu. And guys, this is why you listen to your boy on commentary. The fight went exactly the way I told you would. But that's it for Tim Tszyu. 9th round knockout. To me, a more competitive fight halfway through than Showtime had it. I had it even, although maybe I was being a little generous to my American Tony Harrison. Maybe it was really 4 rounds to 2, not 3 rounds to 3. But Tony Harrison was out jabbing Tim Tszyu, jabbing his head off in the first half of the fight. Hit him with some right hands too, knocked the sweat off, but never could make Tim react. Never could keep Tim off him. Never could stun, hurt, make his legs do a funny dance. Tim Tszyu showed a hell of a chin tonight, and Tony couldn't stay off the ropes. Tim pinned him there repeatedly as the fight wore on. Tim got that left hook to the body cooking around the 5th round, and that began to slow Tony down. The right hand, he hurt Tony in the 3rd round, and that's what really got him going in the fight. And he breaks Tony Harrison down and stops him in the 9th. Final punch stats, 49 jabs for Harrison to just 26 for Tszyu. So Harrison out-jabbed him, although at the end, Tszyu began to hurt him with the jab and out-jabbed him. 131 shots landed for Tim Tszyu to 78 for Tony Harrison. 29 body shots landed for Tim Tszyu to just 7 for Tony Harrison. I had it a little more competitive, but Tszyu was ripping those shoryuken right uppercuts along the ropes. 3, 4, 5 right uppercuts, and then a sweeping right hand that knocked the head up, and then a chopping right hand with Harrison along the ropes, and then a left hook that dropped Harrison, and Harrison couldn't recover, and that was it. 4 or 5 uppercuts, and then a chopping right hand. Alicia Bumgarner chanting in the background, hoping that her man, Tony Harrison, could get through it, but not able to do it. A left hook ended it, and Tony, just like the data showed, fought well, but in the second half of the fight got broken down. Great performance by Tim Tszyu, And great job by Tim Tszyu when he started to smell blood, not forgetting about the jab, not just loading up on power shots. He set up that knockout in that last round with the jab after being out-jabbed all night long, showed his IQ, and this was a blessing in disguise for Tim Tszyu. It would have been too much of a step up for him to fight Charlo. This fight gave him the seasoning he needs, and now he stands a real chance against Charlo. I still favor Charlo because he's a versatile, powerful, explosive, athletic, strong, super welterweight, a boxer puncher. But this man has earned his right to fight for the undisputed titles. That's going to be a very good fight. I think Tszyu is better than Brian Castano was, and so that should be a good fight. Charlo's still the favorite, but Tim Tszyu just gave himself a much better chance of being competitive and winning that fight, getting the 9 rounds of experience with Tony Harrison tonight. Shout out to Detroit. Shout out to D-Town. Tony Harrison let his balls hang by coming overseas, but the 32-year-old vet had been stopped a few times, fought gamely, but got stopped again tonight. And Tim Tszyu's the man of the hour. Thank you, chat. I hope you guys appreciated the live round by round. We had over 6,000 people here, and both fighters showing respect. Tony Harrison obviously very disappointed now, not dejected, but disappointed, deflated, but very classy in defeat, giving Tim Tszyu his respect. Tony obviously wanted that third fight with Jermell Charlo. Maybe he still gets it after all. I mean, it is still technically 1-1, but Tim Tszyu's up next. He earned his shot now. If there was any question if he didn't deserve his shot at Undisputed, now he deserves it. A hell of a performance. Very Julio Cesar Chavez-esque tonight. Very, in terms of the intelligent pressure, the left hook to the body coming on midway through. The right hand, the powerful right hand over the top to the head, the left hook to the body. A little Chavez-esque for the Aussie. I'm sure he made his dad proud. 22-0 with 16 knockouts. Had a lot of pressure on him, a sold-out crowd, and he delivered, man. So, Quiet Storm says, nice commentary. Great call, says John Patrick. Great commentary, says Shannon Durden. Thank you, everyone. Hit the like if you enjoyed the live round by round. That was a blast. Man, that was fun. Fabulous call, says Glenn Alder. Thank you, sir. Kathy Lara puts Harrison with a clown. We don't want that. Harrison's no clown. He fought gamely, came overseas, let his nuts hang, and came up short. That's boxing. Big shout out to Tony Harrison. And while we're on Tony Harrison, I really want him to be one of the great trainers in boxing. Here in America, we need those great black American trainers to continue the lineage because, covering boxing in America, the lifeblood of boxing in America is, in North America with Mexico and Mexican-American fighters and Latin American fighters, but the lifeblood is black American fighters in America, and Tony can continue to hand down the jewels and the wisdom that he got from guys like Emmanuel Stewart and his father Ali Salam, and continue to hand it down, not just to black American fighters, but to all the fighters he'll come across. And I think, we still have that void with Emmanuel Stewart being gone. Tony could be one of the guys to help fill that void in the trainer role now. And I don't, he came up short tonight in the ring, but I think he has a very bright future being a trainer here in the United States, and I think it's important, that I support and get behind him there. But the man of the night is Tim Tszyu, who never acts like a spoiled rich kid, who fights like a hungry guy who didn't have anything handed to him. And his father, Costa Tszyu, raised him that way by design. You don't see Costa Tszyu in the ring. You see his brother Nikita in the ring, but yeah, Costa Tszyu raised his son tough. And he's a tough motherfucker. He is a tough motherfucker, a true fighter, Tim Tszyu, and he showed that tonight. So he is the man of the hour. Let me see here. Motherfucker, thank you for the $20. He said, great job, like listening to big matches with Dad. Thank you so much, motherfucker. And I love your handle. Thank you for the $20, brother. Happy to call the fight for you guys. So, FightHype hella high. I'm not high. I smoke weed, all the time, but I don't smoke weed before any of our telecasts here on FightHype. I got to be sharp, catch all the punches. Actually, early on, I called Harrison, making Tim miss a few counters in round 1 or 2 that on the slow-mo, Tim actually did land. not with the full brunt. You know, Tony took some of the steam off of him, but he did land. So, but thank you, everybody. What round? Daz Dillinger. Tim Tszyu wins by TKO in the 9th. So, great fight, though. Not great fight, but a really good fight. Fought at a really high level. Tony Harrison didn't throw get-off-me punches, didn't tire himself out with excessive movement, but Tim Tszyu's intelligent, aggression, great timing by Tim Tszyu, and some good pull counters on the front foot, kind of like you see Canelo Alvarez and his dad back in the day do. Tim Tszyu's a good fighter. He's calling out Jermell Charlo. Let me hear this. He said, let's go get this fucking fight. He just motherfucked Jermell Charlo. Let's hear what Jermell Charlo says back in the studio. Let's hear what Tony Harrison's saying in the post-fight. I'll go ahead and share it. By the way, chat, do we want me to play some Undisputed to finish the night? Donald Frank with the $10. Thank you, Donald Frank. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that very much, man. Thank you. Thank you. Milton Doby, thank you, brother, for the $2, saying much love and health to all courageous boxers. Well said, brother. We never going to dogpile on the loser on these streams. We're always going to give him this credit due, and Tony deserves a solid amount of credit tonight. Tony says I'm not going to... He said the better man won tonight. I have no excuses. Classy stuff by Tony Harrison. He says he doesn't know where he goes from here. Tony, if you're ever listening, be one of the great trainers in boxing. The young fighters need great trainers. There's a lot of wannabes out here in America who think they're the next Roger Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather Sr. on the mitts. You have that knowledge. Pass it down to the young American bucks. We need it to keep boxing good and relevant in this country. So, shout outs to Tony Harrison in the D-Town. But Tim Tszyu is the man of the night. So chat, do we want to play a little Undisputed to wrap up tonight? Do we want to close with Undisputed? Any questions, chat? To Mick 100, thank you for the 15 in Australia, brother. Thank you. And that I'm not sure about the currency exchange rate. America's economy not doing the best right now. That 15 might actually be more in American. So thank you, my friend. Thank you for that very much. Thank you for the super chats, everybody. Always need to finish with the Undisputed. You're right, motherfucker. I had to. Anthony Medina says your commentary was on point. ESPN needs you. Feel free to hit them up, guys. Feel free to tag people at ESPN to give your boy a shot. You know, I wouldn't be mad at that. Roger Lester with the $20. Thank you so much, Roger. I appreciate that, man. I'm humbled that you guys part with your hard-earned cash because you enjoyed the commentary so much. That's awesome. Thank you. Let me boot up Undisputed. Let me boot up a little Undisputed for the people. And we'll close with some Undisputed. Now, I'm still watching the Showtime stream to see if Jermell Charlo has anything to say. Peace, Sean. The Peace Out Tunes 1521. Peace out, Tunes. Thank you, brother. Beatles Nut said the Yank was scared and on the ropes from the start. No competition. Crap. Talking septic tank got what he deserved. All talk, but nothing to follow it. I disagree. He was in the fight. Landed. He was out jabbing Tim Tszyu, and he wasn't. And you're talking like he was a scared fighter. A scared fighter throws get-off-me punches and uses excessive movement. Tony fought very composed. It's just the young, strong bull was the better man and broke him down. We don't have to take anything away from either fighter. Sometimes when a fighter doesn't perform to his best, you could say that, but I don't think that was the case. I just think he got beat by the better man, the better, younger, fresher guy. Let's hear what he's saying. What's Jermell saying? Brian says, did you see anything different in him tonight? And Jermell is about to say, I saw the exact same thing. He said he's not that fast with the pace. He's strong, of course. Jermell said, I'm a totally different animal. And he is. He said to compare me and Harrison, no. He said Tony moved less than he used to. He said because the ring was smaller in Australia. He said if he's going to fight me, he'll have to bring more dog in him. He also said the ring probably wouldn't be as small when they fight in America. And I love Jermell Charlo, man. I am a Jermell Charlo guy. I do think he's one of the ATGs at 154, all-time great, only undisputed in the 4-belt era. You know, yeah, you could talk about guys like Jason Rosario and aren't, you know, the best titleists that he beat to get there, but he's an all-time great at 54 in my book, top 10. I wouldn't put him ahead of Terry Norris or Felix Trinidad or Thomas Hearns, or Oscar De La Hoya, but I put them, he's right, he deserves to sit at that table. He's of that caliber. Glenn Schofield said, as an Aussie, I was happy and hoping that Tim Tszyu would win, but I have to admit, I grew to like Tony Harrison. Good boxer and great character. Hey, thanks so much, Glenn Schofield. And the Aussies are a classy bunch. Kind of like, this is what Stephen Fulton's probably going to experience when he goes to Japan. You know, very classy, cultural bunch there that really kind of, you know, makes fighters, it looks like, feel at home. Like you know, welcome to our country. Thank you for coming and giving us a big fight. That's how Australia treated Haney and Harrison, and that's how I think Japan's going to treat Stephen Fulton. Just going to wrap up, and I want to hear Jamel's final words here, and then we'll play some Undisputed and call it a wrap. Charlo will avenge Harrison, says Toby Matana. I think I got another super chat I got to read that I almost missed. Oh, thank you, Eric, so much. Thanks. Listening from London, and we couldn't get the fight here. Great analysis and commentary. Oh, well, that's awesome, Eric. That's who I hope I come in for. Hold on, let's hear Charlo. Charlo said he's coming over here. Charlo confirming the fight has to happen in America. And that'll do it. That'll pretty much do it for the Showtime broadcast. Charlo confirming the fight has to happen there. But thank you so much, Eric. Yeah, I really hope, you know, for people watching the fight, it's humbling that you'd want to hear my commentary when you actually have access to the fight. But for people who don't get to see some of these fights, some of these pay-per-views, I love coming in for clutch for the people at work who are on their headphones, who are driving somewhere and can't watch the fight, or for someone like you, Eric, who is in a region where they can't catch the fight. That's where I'm really happy to put on for you guys and kind of come through in the clutch so you can still, you know, as boxing fans, find out what the hell's going on. We got 2,500 people still in the chat. That's amazing. I hope you guys like boxing video games. I hope you like Undisputed, because that's where we're about to take it now. Let's see. One moment here. Come on, Undisputed. Fire up. There we go. All right. You know how we like to close the show. Close the show with some Undisputed. Let's go. Let's go. Here we go. Can we pick the fighter for Undisputed, or is it always Fury for now, motherfucker? You guys can pick whoever you want. Chat, who do we want to use? What weight class? Who are we using? They just added Maravilla Martinez to the game. At middleweight, I like to use either the Sugar Rays or Roy. Canelo, it's tough with Canelo having to cut distance against these faster, bigger middleweights like Ray Robinson and Roy Jones, but I'll use them if you want. I was thinking we'd rock with Ryan Garcia since he's like, you know, the guy on this game with a big fight coming up. So I was thinking Ryan, but if you guys want someone else, Crawford, I'm seeing a few Crawfords in there. And then at heavyweight, we could always rock with Ali or Fury, Wilder, Usyk, or Joe Louis. I'm not trying to use little Rocky Marciano and walk into shots. I mean, I'll win anyways. I've never lost on a FightHype live stream. Crawford, Froch, Wilder, Sugar Ray Leonard. Well, I love Sugar Ray Leonard. Marvelous Irv, good to see you, brother. Man, I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing some Crawfords. All right, you know what? Tim Tszyu. I would love to use Tim Tszyu. He's not in the game. Usyk, Roy. You know what, guys? I'm going to have to go with Ryan. I'm going to have to go with Ryan because he's got a big fight coming up. I'm going to have to go with Ryan. Come on, chat. Come on, all 2,000 of you. Don't leave yet. Still got some Undisputed to do. Hold on.
I'm Todd Grisham, and what a stunning venue. We are live at the CompuBox Academy. Alongside me, Johnny Nelson.
Looking forward to this one, Todd.
Mirror match.
It's time for our tale of the tape. Up first, it's Ryan King.
Here we go. About to whip his ass. Since he's 2-2, folks,
King
I'm just gonna go right after him and start whipping his ass. Watch, I'm not going to play with my food. I'm not going to do what Paulo Okoso did in the co-main event tonight. About to whip his ass. Let's go. Your boy is in the blue corner. That's my name right there. Noma Shanko. Let's go. Here we go, chat.
Threw the hook, didn't land.
Oh, he wants to play keep away. He quit. That's why I'm Noma Shanko. That's why I am Noma Shanko. That is why I am Noma Shanko.
I agree. The ref,
you know what I'm saying? Right there, you saw it. That's why I am Noma Shanko. These dudes quit more times than not. All right, that doesn't count. We gotta go. We gotta get someone else. I'm not even going to the winners cam. All right, split second winners cam for the faithfuls that know how we do. Winners cam, I won. Yay. All right. Noma Shanko strikes again. I am Noma Shanko. No, I don't know why. I don't know why he do this. All right. Ryan Garcizzle. Pick the lowest rated character. Nah, I'm not doing that. I do like to win.
The crowd has been waiting for this one for a very long time. Welcome to the CompuBox Academy.
Mid7 says thank you. Always appreciate your great calls. Thank you, brother. Thanks for being in the chat. Another mirror. Oh, it's this guy again. All right. He's just going to rage quit again. I'm going to pick a different weight class after this so we make sure we don't run into old boy again.
What a pleasure to be in this unique environment.
Pick B-Bowl next, Andrew White, not in the game yet. Does he quit or does he fight this time? Ah, let's see. Oh, he might fight this time, chat. Alright, chat, you know I take a second on these streams to catch fire. It's a little nerve-wracking playing with 2,000 people. But then I start whooping that ass. And I'm already whooping his ass.
What a punch.
Oh, hold up. Fighting silly to start. We got him. Oh, you're gonna taunt.
All the talking has been done. It's time to start doing the walking.
Fighting a little sloppy to start, chat.
Fighters that are big show, big arena fighters, and they bask in this.
Let me take my time and advance the counters. There it is. Counter uppercut, counter right hand. There we go. Oh, he got me back in the jab. Okay. Counter.
Nice exchanges from both men in this round.
Counter left hook coming, guys. It's coming. Oh. Tank says all you got is a left hook. That's all we're going to need. Oh, he got me. Counter me with that left hook. Boom. This is actually playing awful for me, even though we're dominating in this round.
He just misses with that jab.
Heat a minute with the chat. Oh, good straight right hand by him. I'm going to switch to loose movement here.
Instincts and reaction time. You've got to get in there quick to punch your opponent before he gets his fist back to block.
Todd, I understand what you're saying, but you've got to be honest. You've got to be honest. You've got to be a pro. You've got to think right. Concentrate.
A very competitive
this next round is about to be
with 10 seconds left.
We dominated that round, but it was sloppy. It was sloppy by my standards. We about to.
This fight is closer than 2 pages and a book.
About to really pick them apart this round. Check it out.
Who's gonna be the first one to
the way you fight, you don't want this smoke son, John Raymond. Nah, man, I'm a problem. You'll see. Still undefeated.
He fails to score with that left hook.
And he quit. Noma Shanko.
There you have it. It is official now, and that
Noma
is not the
Shanko.
way anyone wanted this fight to end.
No complaints there at all. The crowd agree. I agree. The ref
Noma
knew exactly what he was doing.
John Raymond, we can box. I need to invite you in.
To fight number 2.
Work off the jab, wave lord. Oh yeah, I do. No, I know that, but I'm just trying to get him out of there. We won that the only round. All right, that guy's trash. 2 Noma Shankos to start the stream. All right, let's get a full fight in for real. Let's get a full one in. Forget Ryan for now, maybe. I'll use Roy. I'm gonna use some Roy Jones. DeAndre C says, "What's your record now?" I'm 16-0 in ranked, and my record in unranked, you know, quick match is like 320, 300 wins, 20 losses, something like that. 16-0 in ranked though.
So much energy here in the house tonight. We are live at the CompuBox Academy. I'm Todd Grisham.
Look at this dude's record, chat. Oh, we're about to 145 wins and 32 losses. Look at this dude's record. I'm 16-0, but he's 145 and 32. All right, you guys are about to get a super fight to end the night. This is the toughest opponent I faced on a stream, chat. And he gets to just focus. I gotta perform in front of over 1,000 people and talk.
This bout is scheduled.
Here we go, chat. We got a tough opponent on our hands.
These athletes have been waiting.
Tough opponent on our hands. Roy, you know we do that loose stance. All right, I got to fight very smart, so I might get a little quiet here.
He gets out of the way of that left hand.
Take our time with a good fighter. Got countered already. Not going to be easy having to be live with it, but I'm going to get him.
Misses with that jab.
Ooh, got him with the counter hook early. Off the jab. I got to use that jab wisely here to set other things up. Oh, nice counter shot.
Buzzing all day long, and finally, we're about to get it on.
God, listen to them. Listen to them. You can hear the noise, but you don't
want to walk
into
shots, even though he's on his bike early.
I'm showing you here. I'm sorry.
Gotta come in smart.
Nice exchanges from both men in this round. He misses with that jab.
Good blocks by him.
Nice exchange here from both men.
High-level exchanges by both of us. Countered him with the jab. Touched him with the hook. Come on, Roy.
This counter puncher is going to.
We're not going to lose.
Move first, and then we'll
not going to lose on the FightHype Live. Let's go.
Keep an eye on this guy.
Todd, I understand what you're saying, but you've got to be on this. You've got to be on it. You've got to be a pro. You've got to think right.
Touch that body. You don't want to fight, y'all. He's trying to bullshit his way through to a win. We're not going to let him.
Through the very close round with 10 seconds to go.
Touched him with, there we go. That's the hook we needed in a close round. I feel like that hook may have got me the round. One zip, baby. One zip.
This fight could not be any closer.
Man, this guy used the jab. I'm using it. I'm using it. I think we got that. Here we go. I want to win this one for y'all. I do not want to have my first L on the stream. Got impatient. Tried to walk in without the jab and just get to the body. That was dumb.
Got caught clean by a left hook.
Oh, good counter by him. I got a little greedy there, let my hands go. Got to place the shot. Be smart. There we go. Don't forget the jab. Oh, that was dumb. That was dumb. I should have just touched him with the jab. I tried to commit to a body shot and sidestep. Oh, he's hurt though. Got him. Yeah. Let's go, chat. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, chat. Fuck with your boy. Come on, chat. Get hype in the chat. Let me see you get hype in the chat. He's got 145 wins. Let's let him know whose house this is, chat. Still hurt. Oh, we can finish him. Come on. Come on, Roy. He's hurt. Big moment for us, baby.
He fails to score with that left hook.
Why'd I jump into that? Why'd I jump? Let's take our time. We're working with a lead now. Let's take our time and beat his ass.
He just misses with that jab. Just gets out of the way of that right uppercut.
Damn. I don't love how I fought after that knockdown. We'll take that knockdown all day, that's for sure. Gotta manage stamina here. And we'll take that. We'll take that second round. Woo!
Not much to write home about in that
Let's
round,
go.
Johnny.
Just a little fact finder, that's all it was.
Let's go. 1,200 people watching this fight. I don't want to lose it. I'm fighting a high-level opponent.
Both of these fighters have the conditioning to go the distance.
He wanted to bait me.
They also have
sidestep,
the
but I
power
didn't
to
take
end
it.
this with
At that time,
one
I did though, like an
Back in
idiot.
the history books, some of the best fighters
I know
in
that's
the
what he's
world
trying to do, don't
were the
get what he
middleweights.
wants.
Yes, the glamour division is the heavyweights, we know. But I'm
Boom!
telling you now, you look right there, these guys are on it.
Ah, that's dumb, man. I keep falling for that sidestep and shit when he goes to his right. And I need to just be patient
That's the size of an average man.
and counter him instead when he does that.
Swing and a miss with
Got
the
it.
hook.
And he don't really want to fight, guys. He's trying to con his way to a win. We're not going to let him do
Nice
that.
exchanges from both men in this round. Either man really defending themselves.
Boom! Checked him with that hook. He knows he can't fuck with me in the exchanges.
We hear that old phrase.
So he's just trying to
second
bullshit his
win.
way.
He's got to find it
Nope.
somehow.
Can they change? Can they slow
Starting
the
to catch
pace
him with
down?
that
Can
left
they
hook.
hope
Let's
to,
go.
To knock them out early. What can they do? They've got to concentrate and relax.
Nope, I'm not
Because
falling
you
for the
know what you can
sidestep.
do in the gym, you can do it in a fight. They've got to relax.
There we go. Taking control of the round right now. Finish strong. Man, he's not doing enough to win. See, why did I do that? Why did I fall for that? Don't throw the body shot when he's sidestepping like that, man. He's looking for that shit.
Very close round with 10 seconds to go.
I finished the round stupid. We let that round get away from us when we were taking control.
Who's winning this
Juan
fight
from
right
Cali,
now?
what
I have
system?
no
It's on
idea.
PC, brother.
It's too hard to split.
Come on, chat. We got this.
Which one of these athletes is
They
gonna
got
be
me
the
up
first
by
to
2
go down?
points. That last round got away from me. We can't let that happen. Gotta stay sharp.
And he blocks the left uppercut.
That jab is gonna be important for him. Late on the counter.
And he misses with that jab.
It's touching me, touching me. Come on, Roy.
Correct me if I'm
Place
wrong,
our
but when you're
shot.
dealing with someone with so much speed, you've got
Don't let
to
him
get your
counterpunch.
timing right.
This can be so frustrating when you're under such a fast fighter that can throw 3-4 shot combinations
I got
before
fucked
you
up
even
in that
let one
exchange.
off. That creates frustration, and that's when it gets hard.
The jab. The jab. Can't forget the jab. Especially when a guy's trying to play keep away. You gotta touch him. You try to
Both of these men
walk
showing
him down and just throw the
exceptional
power
chins,
shots, he's
by
gonna
the
start
way.
picking me apart. So
Nice
I can't forget
exchanges
that
from
jab.
both
There we
men
go.
in this round. Jab does not score.
Oh, there we go. That jab set it up. I'm trying to jab to get him to open up and
Here
then
from both men.
counter his counter off the jab. This man don't want to
You're a
exchange
power
for
puncher.
nothing.
You're not as concerned with how many
That's
punches
okay.
you throw.
I can't
It's about
expect
how
him to.
many you land and how hard they are.
Todd, we know one of these fights can knock you out with a simple jab. They're that powerful.
A very competitive round with 10 seconds left.
Oh, come on, give me that counter jab. I sidestepped it. Boom, counter left hook at the bell. I might not have done enough to get that round though, but I started, you know, touching him with the jab.
He's got to do his fight right. He's got to judge this right.
John Raymond, you know you ain't beat no man with 145 losses or 145 wins like I'm about to. Stop that. You got it. Like you said, I'm thinking too much. I gotta think with a guy like this. Oh, come on, give me that counter. Give me that counter, just a little out of range. There it is.
land that jab.
There it is. Reached down one too many times. Got predictable.
Fantastic punch.
Look at this man, y'all. He did not really want to. He doesn't want to fight at all. Trying to con his way through the fight.
You hear people talk about a boxer's chin. Do they have a good chin? Do they have a glass jaw? Those are questions that are being answered here tonight.
Because you've got a good chin doesn't mean you've got leather skin. It means you can still get caught. So you've got to
Getting impatient. You can't just throw the jab out there and you counter.
Cheekbone. You just got to try and cut them, skim and go for speed.
These two are the perfect dance partners.
It's a frustrating style to face. Someone who doesn't really want to fight, just wants to do enough and survive, touch you up, get the round.
Nice punch.
There we go. Close round right now. I need to finish well. There it is.
Oh, and he caught him with a stiff jab.
Ooh, just off with that counter jab. I'm playing chess with him. There it is again. Outplayed him on chess.
This round still
he wants to fight this boring ass fight. I gotta be smart. Oh, counter! You guys see that counter uppercut? Let's go. Let's go. We finished that 5th round strong. I think I took it. Gotta play chess with him. I don't want to play chess. Adam Lowndes saying cut the ring off, bro. You try to cut the ring off too much, and that's how you walk into shit. You gotta play a little bit of chess on the outside with him. Go.
One of these athletes is going to be the
all right, close fight. I think I'm definitely still ahead, but keep touching me up. Sorry, gotta be sharp, man. This dude is making me have to be on my P's and Q's.
We've seen in the past from this fighter, they don't get concerned when they lose some of the earlier rounds because they know they've got that power that can strike at any moment.
It's the one who draws first blood, Todd. That's what you've got to look at. If you hit and you know you're in there with a banger, you've got to be on it, but you've got to be confident. You gotta see that jab
still working for me. It's not like setting the world on fire, but it's doing just enough to keep me setting things up, punching in between the shots.
And he just missed with that left jab.
Let's get him with something nice here. Come on.
Coming back to life now, starting to land some punches.
Whew. He almost counted me with the body there. There we go. We want him to come forward a little bit, please. Let's bait him into it.
Can they figure out the combination?
I got counted. He finished that exchange well, and I made him pay to the body. Please come forward. There you go. Countered him with the hook.
How do they use this fighter's aggression against them?
I've seen some aggressive fighters like this, and they are a nightmare. If you are not fit, that's
there we go. We're getting to him. There it is. There's that jab into the body, and then eventually we'll get him with something big up top. Take my time. He's starting to get a little desperate and want to fight finally. Can't forget my jab.
Good punch.
Oh, counter right hand. Walked him into it.
This round could go either way. 10 seconds to go.
Good round. Good round. Feel like we started to take a little control with the round. Good stuff. Starting to figure him out. Starting to make him come forward and get out of his little bullshit shell. What score? I'm up by 3 points halfway through. All right. I'll take it. I gotta be cool.
With that jab.
Off the jab, everything. Now he wants to fight. Good. It's gonna get easier if I'm smart.
You've heard the phrase finding a second win. I don't think I need to tell you which one of these fighters needs to find it.
See, he's gonna start walking into more shots now.
If you are tired, this can be the loneliest place in the world. If you cheated, now we're gonna find out.
Can't forget my jab. Just because he's crowding distance, can't forget the jab.
And that hook misses. right hook.
I love that he's coming to me now, though. This is way better than having to chase him down. Hurt him. And he goes down off the uppercut. We got him, chat. I felt him. We were breaking him because he's starting to come forward after all that running. We got him. Left uppercut. Don't get up, please. You are a frustrating style. I want this dub already. 8, 9, 10. Knockout, baby. Where you at, John Raymond? Where you going? John Roy going to gas, bet. John Raymond, hey chat, let John Raymond know who the champ is around here. Let him know who got that knockout against Mr. 145 wins.
Where did it come from?
That's how we end it, baby.
He didn't get knocked down.
I'm sorry for yelling in your ears on the headphones, people, but let's go. That left uppercut put an end to it. Still undefeated on the stream. Was winning the fight. The difference, as always, is my counters, 29-22. That knockdown in the third. Look at his record: 145 wins, 32 losses, 2 draws. But to the winners, Cam. To the winners, Cam. Wu-Tang. To the winners, Wu-Tang Clan. Cam. I'm on my Ryan Garcia. I'm on my. Woo! Oh, I'm sorry. I'm hyped. I knocked them out. Chat, that's about it. That's all I got. You guys are awesome for rocking with me, everyone. Marvelous Irv, John Raymond, you know I got love for you, brother. We will get it in eventually. But that's it, man. Hope everyone enjoyed that. John Raymond is mad. He says still won't fight him. John Raymond's got to get that smoke. All you guys got to get that smoke eventually. But thank you, everyone, for joining in. That was fun. I hope you enjoyed the... I hope you. Someone said you need to blink, bro. Okay, I got you, Lil Penny. But I hope you guys enjoyed the live. Everyone have a great rest of the weekend. Tim Tszyu, the man of the hour, gets the knockout in the 9th round in a hell of a chess match that had a good action throughout, fought at a high level. And now he's actually prepared for a fight with Jermell Charlo, and he wasn't the way he is now if it would have happened January 28th. So thanks, everyone, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.